Reload on that. So we'll have the YouTube chat coming up.
Summer is near, near in our hearts, and a new dream's about to start. Summer is near, near in our hearts, and people are graduating or have graduated. And if we missed it, happy belated graduation. Graduation. And good morning to the people in the stream, and good evening to the people in the stream, and good afternoon to the people in the stream, and happy 3:30 a.m. to people in the stream. I don't know what you call that. It's not really evening or morning yet. It's in between. Happy graduation. Even if I'm 35 years late. Happy graduation.
Say goodbye to all the people you hate.
Hey, folks.
Hello.
Welcome to Joe Hills.
Yeah.
I am not they.
We got Quinn Hills in the house. You know what I should do is I should pin that commission music from Quinn up at the top.
You should.
If you want a custom song, you can visit redactedhills.com.
Cool. I'm gonna fix my microphone.
Oh no.
Even though I did this earlier.
Yeah, that's not the best. We can set you up with a proper tripod instead of a...
I would just, get a...
We've got one over there if you want. I don't know if you want to do this live. I can just mute that mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that mic is now muted.
Do it live.
Doing it live, yeah.
Where's the tripod?
It should be leaning against the shelf there.
This puppy?
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Cabley.
A little cabley. We don't usually bust that one out.
Cabley.
Yeah. I think Cable was in Deadpool.
He was.
He like time travels or something.
Yeah, played by Jeff Brolin.
Yeah.
Thanos.
Yeah, I think his backstory is he's like Scott McCloud's kid. The understanding comics guy. Yeah, because he has a lightning bolt on his chest, so his kid's a superhero.
Has to be it. Yeah.
I think that's it. But yeah, this is how much I know about the Deadpool cast. Woo. So,
How would this actually fit into?
yeah, that was why I haven't set it up. I'm not sure if do we want to do it live or should we just accept
Let's
that?
just live
Okay, we'll live dangerously. I'm turning up the other mic.
Live deliciously.
Yeah, live deliciously. I'm turning up the other mic again.
Oh, my water spilled, but it's just water.
Yay, that's fine.
Yay.
It wasn't like it was a ludicrous volume of water.
No.
Okay. Wasn't like a Sahara desert.
Luminous water.
I don't know why I thought of the Sahara desert. I'm like, what's really big? Let me pick the biggest desert I can think of, except Antarctica, because at least that one is like does have water. It's just...
I'm gonna turn my mic off again.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Uh-oh. Boop. I did not have a totem. That was a bad... Oh, I'm out of totems. That's why. I burned my last totem. Okay, yeah. We need to go bring a bunch of gold to Impulse. I hope all my stuff didn't, like, blow up into the lava.
That'd be bad.
That might be bad. This might be a we have inconvenienced ourselves stream.
An inconvenient truth.
Uh,
But a truth no less.
it's uncanny to see you'd really think it was me. I do the best imitation of myself.
Hey, what's our goal topic today?
Do
we have one?
We have one. I was gonna wait until your mic was all done. And I've recovered all my stuff. Actually, I need to. Wow, that was really loud. Even with it being.
I thought it was off.
It was, but apparently, like adjusting the cable. Like, okay. Oh, I need to turn off the. I need to. The cable has come out of the mic. Yeah, I have to double mute it to like disable all audio coming out of the box.
I assumed that's what you had done.
No, because then they wouldn't be able to hear me because my mic is coming out of the same box. If that makes sense.
Get another box.
Yeah, those are super expensive. They're like hundreds of dollars.
Like 16 inputs for each of us. That should be enough.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, Logan has the one of these with 4 inputs on the front. He definitely wants you to come down. He was like disappointed you didn't come down for Memorial Day. He wanted to show off the studio and stuff.
I want to see it. I just wasn't able to.
Yeah, well, hopefully soon. We can make that happen. Okay, how do I have more stuff? Oh, because... Okay, that's fine.
Oh, our goals.
Yeah. We were gonna have a themed goal for today. This was, I don't want to claim credit for this idea. It's a good idea, but it was your idea. Would you like to pitch it?
Yeah, Joe and I are attending a graduation sometime soon, and I was thinking about graduation and graduation songs, and so we've got some graduation songs as our goals.
Mm-hmm.
At 180, I will sing "Good Riddance, the Time of Your Life" by Green Day, and at 360, the Jost and I will sing a graduation song by Vitamin C.
It's called Friends Forever.
Friends Forever.
Okay,
I think it's parenthetically graduation song.
People are saying I left a black shulker box down here. I'm pretty sure I got the black shulker box because it's... Oh, we did have 2, didn't we? Huh. Okay, yeah, the other one actually was full, so...
Yeah.
Maybe we want to...
You've shulked your responsibilities.
Yeah, there it is. Got it. Okay. Well, since we had a full inventory that we added 3 stacks of stuff to, and we've recovered everything now, I think we're good. Oh, I did have 1 totem left. Okay, but we still need to go buy more. Impulse told me that he needs a ton of gold, so I'm going to go bring him the gold in exchange for totems. We kind of talked about that earlier.
What's he need the gold for?
His building is like...
Solid gold?
Solid... Well, it's not solid gold, but it's got a bunch of gold in it, so... Yeah, we're going to take some gold ore over to him.
How very decadent.
I know, right? Although I'm realizing we actually still need more stuff. Or we need more space in our inventory to do that, so... But yeah, I will say I really like Vitamin C's Graduation Friends Forever song.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get in the car every day and press the button on my phone to activate the voice activated thing while I was warming up the engine, and I'd say, hey Siri, play Vitamin C's Friends Forever. And then, because I was in a parking garage, it would not do that. and then I would get mad, and then I'd manually do it. And but like sometimes if I parked near enough to the sides of the garage, I get signal. But like, yeah, so that was a big part of my life, doing that every day for years.
That's the problem, Joe. Was.
It was a big part of my life. Okay. Welcome, Unlimited Creativity. Okay, so we are going to go to impulses.
Welcome.
Okay, just as a reminder, we are splitting tips today. Now that we got the audio set up. I don't want to ask for money while we're screwing around.
We are no longer screwing around. We're serious now. So serious.
Super serious.
Why so serious? You wanna know how I got these scars?
How'd you get them scars?
By trying to request a graduation song while I warm up my car.
Oh, Good Times with Scar on the server is now selling like paintings of himself in like volleyball calendars and stuff.
Oh wow!
And I should put a bunch of them in my pinball machine.
So he's like an actual sexy man.
Yeah. That's why I was worried about losing to him. Okay, so I don't know what is an appropriate amount for the amount of gold I'm putting in here. So I think we'll just go ahead and take one.
Where's your volleyball calendar?
Okay. And we'll put in... I should have named this.
Keeping it under wraps, huh?
Yeah. Oh, good. He's got an anvil over there. 1 second. Gold for totems. Totem payment chest. There we go.
You know how there's like beach volleyball? Is there beach chess? I feel like that's what your calendar
Beach
could be.
chess?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, a little magnet chess.
Yeah. I've seen beach football. You know, tons of other competitive sports. What about beach chess?
Welcome, Tennessee Atral Liz. Glad you could join us.
We're in Tennessee.
But yeah, I wanna get all of those scar things and put them somewhere, and then when Cleo comes over, I can be like, "You wanna know how I got these scars?"
When Cleo comes over to America?
No, like I'll put I'll put them in the they're in-game items.
Oh, I see what you. I thought. Oh, that's disappointing. I thought Scar was like selling a volleyball calendar for real.
No. Did Beef join the game? Howdy, Beef.
Howdy, Beef.
Boy, so I don't know what I'm gonna do on Sunday nights anymore now that Barry's over.
I guess you'll cancel your Max subscription.
Yeah. Oh, I do need to cancel my Max subscription because they don't have anything else coming up that's like worthwhile, right? At some point, they might be making a Venture Brothers movie, but like I can renew that when it comes out.
I saw Ed Solomon has a TV show coming out in July.
Ed Solomon, that's the Bill and Ted guy.
Bill and Ted,
right?
Men in Black writer. Yeah.
Oh, what is that about?
I don't know. I just saw like someone tweet out like, "All right, all the good shows are done on Max, so you can cancel it now." And then
he's like,
he quote tweeted and it was like, "No, wait, I have a show." But I don't know what it is. I did not inquire further, as I rarely do.
We got 10 rolling in, our first tip of the stream.
See, that's just the first result on your search engine is the same tweet I saw.
Yeah. It's a drama. But anyway, we got a $10 tip rolling in from Perfect Fry, who says, I don't like the floors and I buy, but I like the gaping pit in the pinball machine. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
The pit in the pinball one. Yep.
Perfect Fry. You were a perfect Fry.
Okay, so let's see. This is Steven Soderbergh and Ed Solomon reteam for HBO Max limited series Full Circle. They worked on the film No Sudden Move, which I haven't seen, together, and now they're making a TV show. An investigation into a botched kidnapping uncovers long-held secrets connecting multiple characters and cultures in present-day New York City. Soderbergh will direct all 6 episodes. Solomon is the writer and executive producer. So I wonder if this is them trying to make their own True Detective type thing.
Yeah, sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna keep Max for it, but even if
Sure.
the thing is, if I cancel it now, they billed me like a week ago. I was like, I could cancel it now and then not see the finale of Barry, but
True.
that's not like the whole reason I renewed it was to watch Barry. The whole reason because I had turned Max off a few months back.
Yeah, it's the Barry app.
Yeah.
I also use it for Succession.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's
also over.
Yeah, my plan was to watch Succession like on backlog or whatever while I wait for the app to time out the subscription. Hey, Lord Piecrust tipping 11 who says, "Hey Joe, how's it going? Perfect timing, gonna be a slow work day." Well, thank you very much. Oh, I forgot to rotate us because I was busy researching. We were doing rotational tips today.
Piecrust, it's gonna be a slow work day.
Work day.
Work day.
Work day.
Work day.
And my fantastic fiance is raiding with a party of 6. Welcome, raiders from Badger Spanner stream. Badger was playing over there on that HermitCraft server.
Shamblecraft. What kind of craft is this? It's in shambles. Shamblecraft.
Dang it.
What were you saying, Joe?
I don't know. You don't have to be in shambles, but it helps. Something like that.
I think if someone's being honest, most of us are in shambles, degrees of shambles. But
yeah, but since
that's just
HermitCraft
being
is
alive.
European, it's Celsius shambles.
Oh, I see.
If you're trying to get the degrees.
I already have 2.
Ooh.
Speaking of graduations.
Yeah, how's that going?
I don't plan on my MFA is a terminal degree, so I don't plan on getting more unless I get an honorary doctorate. The DFA can only be awarded honorarily.
Yeah, I really need one of those because that's also a terminal degree. At that point, you're done.
Yeah, it's double terminal.
Yeah. It's one of the degrees are like the only thing where terminal is good other than like a bus line where you're like or a train line where it's like, "Oh, when's my stop? Oh, I get off at the terminal." Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even have to pay attention then.
That Tom Hanks movie, I never saw that. Terminal.
I never saw that.
Oh, NJ Coffee Junkie says, "Good morning, Hills siblings. In the office today, but listening in.
Have a fantastic office day."
Can everyone in the office hear?
Is it like when you got your door fixed?
Or when you got your bathroom fixed?
Yeah. NJ Coffee Junkies, office is full of fantastic people. If they were a band, they wouldn't be the Monkees. They'd be the original Beatles.
The original Beatles with Pete Best.
The Fab Four. Evan Netta tipping 15 new Israeli shekels. That comes out to 5 U.S. Abacus feeds. We are going to rotate the camera another 5 degrees.
Netta, thank you. And can't hear us.
Wait, why can't they? Wait, have we been?
Oh, NJ says that.
Oh.
That the coworkers can't hear. So.
They can't hear you, but I'll tell them.
Right.
Don't tell them you're goofing off at work,
yeah.
NJ. Come on.
But you can tell them that we say, give NJ Coffee Junkie a raise.
Yeah.
Please. Because she deserves it greatly. Yeah, everyone needs a pay increase.
Yeah, you can tell them that we told them to pay you more and that everyone should unionize.
Yeah.
See how I'm like, what can we tell NJ to tell them that she won't tell them? Yeah. 10 minutes till the end of the day for Evanetta. Awesome. Enjoy your evening.
Oh, look, it worked. NJ said I got one already.
Oh.
That was fast.
Good. I don't know if that's the raise or the union, but either way.
We move in mysterious ways.
Badger Spanner writes, the other week I met a guy who was both a voice actor in Yellow Submarine and a Knight of Knee in Monty Python.
Oh,
Ooh.
my.
That's an IMDb career right there.
That's a person to know.
Yeah.
In the town where I was born, lived a man who voiced Yellow Submarine, and he also was a knight of knee.
We all voice a Knight of Knee.
A knight who says knee, a knight who says
knee.
knee. Knee. Please bring us a shrubbery where the knights who say knee.
Okay. No more water.
No more water? Where has all the water gone?
Here it is. It's like I thought I was done with the water.
Yeah, you've been working on that.
But they keep dragging me back in.
You've been working on that water for weeks.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize I was going to need this tunnel here to connect this mineshaft entrance with my furnace area.
I see. Mineshaft entrance. Furnace area. What does it all mean?
Could mean anything, I suppose. Yeah, at least it's only a little water. That's right. Lay your head down and dream, Jarro Soup. Yeah, I really, like, you'd think, I mean, after listening to that song every night for, like, 3 years now, you would think I'd be tired of it. But
well, why would you? It's a TV show sitcom theme. Those never get old.
They don't. Well, I gotta say, I'm actually really proud of that opening lyric. Like, every time I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I pretty much nailed that.
Nailed it.
Yeah. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. I'm like, that's it. That's it right there.
That's it. That's the show.
That's the show.
That's the show. That's the show.
Okay, so we're gonna put some blocks in there. Because that's a good way to get rid of water. Uh-oh, it's getting dark out. This is, no part of this is like monster safe. Oh no, it is dark out. I was like, it's getting dark. It's I missed that it was entirely. Oh, I heard Clone High came back.
That's on Max.
Is that on Max?
Yeah.
I need to watch that too then. Okay.
Clone High. Clone High.
So apparently the IMDb page for Sandy Johnson, that's the knight who said knee, was in Monty Python. Directed a bunch of different random shows. Wait, is Young Hyacinth a TV movie about Hyacinth Bouquet?
Is it?
Wait. Is this a Keeping Up Appearances prequel?
Is it?
Set in the late 1950s, a young Hyacinth will be seen desperately trying to force her family to climb the social ladder.
I mean, that sounds like it would be, doesn't it?
That sounds amazing. More like this. Keeping Up Appearances, Are You Being Served?
Yeah. Look at that.
Okay, so...
We need to see that. Came out in 2016.
Yeah. This is it. This is it. It's about her trying to land her boyfriend William and trying to cover up her dad's alcoholism as the side effects of his war wound. Oh, this actually looks really interesting. Badger says, I'd never even heard of this, and I'm British. Well, you know the guy who directed it, Badger.
Yeah, you met him.
Yeah.
The Sandy Johnson.
Yeah, wow. Okay, I gotta look at the rest of this guy's IMDb page. What else don't I know about?
Yeah, what other prequels?
Yeah. Okay. The Last Detective. I don't know what that would be a prequel to, because it sounds kind of like the ultimate thing. He directed 5 episodes of the Comic Strip Presents. I've heard of that. Oh, that's probably why Badger met this guy, because Badger was actually just at the Comic Strip Presents event.
That's probably it.
That's it. Okay. Haha. Now who's the last detective?
Batman?
Yeah. Okay, I gotta watch this Young Hyacinth thing.
World's lastest detective.
Okay, I'm looking at the date that it came out, and I think what happened was, I think the way they financed this was, like, Downton Abbey was huge, and it's like, we need more period stuff.
Yeah.
What do we have the rights to? Well, we have the rights to Keeping Up Appearances. Yeah. What if we set that earlier?
50s, yeah, it's a little past where Downton went, but
yeah.
it is, like, The Crown was big as well.
Yeah,
and that covers the 50s. So.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we'll make her a maid. Maids are a big thing in Downton Abbey because Hyacinth is a maid in this.
Yeah,
apparently.
There's this whole upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah.
Thing, you know. Servants, very hot right now.
Oh. Yeah, that's how employers get in trouble. They're like, servants are so hot right now.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I serve myself.
The Last Detective is a prequel to The Return of the PIs. It has Peter Davison from Doctor Who.
Sandy Johnson only makes prequels?
Apparently.
Like, bring in the prequel guy.
Oh, yeah. We could have gotten him for episode 1, but he was busy making, We're Here, a dinosaur story.
A story 65 million years in the making.
No, it would be a story 64 million years in the making because it's the prequel.
Oh, you're right.
So it takes place earlier.
Much earlier, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, I guess a million years is much earlier. It's only like 1%, but like.
Sure.
Smuggler says
4.9.
Why are you digging more of the area under the machine? Well, now I'm connecting my mine entrance to my furnace area. So this is, I'm building like and this is also going to go underneath the power switch. It's going to be here. And then here's the skeleton farm. And the furnace.
Skeleton farm?
So, the camera resets in Punxsutawney time, but everything else is on Central Time here. Do we think Spider-Verse 2 will live up to the hype? I hope so.
I think it will.
I really enjoyed the first one. The question is, did they let the folks who made it do whatever they wanted creatively? Because I feel like with the first one, the studio kind of was just like, this is just a side thing, whatever, go nuts.
Yeah, and this can happen with sequels. Even if the original one is successful, there's always some executives who want to do something differently, or
Yeah, like nobody cares about getting credit for coming up with the first one of a movie like this because they think it's gonna flop anyway. So none of the executives really want their fingerprints on it because they don't want to be blamed when it flops.
Exactly.
But now that they're like, oh, the second one's guaranteed to be a hit because the first one was a hit, they're like, well, now I have to get my fingerprints all over
and
this.
we need to figure out how to sell more toys. And...
Oh yeah. Which, I mean, a multiverse thing like this is a perfect vehicle for that.
Oh, for sure.
They're like, oh, this Spider-Man rides a train. We got to sell the train set.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the change in tone from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie, to The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah,
and even in The Secret of the Ooze, there's no Casey Jones, completely gone. Because maybe he was too rough around the edges,
too violent, yeah.
And even they don't really use their weapons at all.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie.
No, yeah, they're like
they're just kind of like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, Leo loses his swords is a big one. They're constantly finding excuses for Leo's swords to get stuck somewhere so he doesn't slice a dude in half. Because he has no moral reservations about slicing a guy in half.
No, he does not.
And so they just have to have a functional, practical reason that his sword just isn't there for those. Because in the cartoon, they're like, all the Foot Clan are robots, but they didn't do that with the TV show.
I mean with the movie.
Or the movie, yeah, sorry. Centauratron, I would strongly recommend the first Spider-Verse film. I saw it twice in theaters.
It's the best Spider-Man film I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've only seen...
Hands down.
Or, Quinn, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. I can only think of 2 films I saw twice in theaters. Walk Hard and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Can you think of anything else that, we might have seen? Because if there was... Well, I guess... Oh, I saw The Room twice in theaters, but not
I don't know if you were a part of this, but the summer that Iron Man came out, I was just very impressed by that first Iron Man movie, and I took several groups of people to see it in theaters, maybe 3 or 4 times. So I don't know if you were a part of that or not.
I saw that at the drive-in.
Yeah, I saw it at the drive-in.
Were you there?
Brought more people to the drive-in.
I think Lily was. Yeah, that was when I was dating Lily. So if you were there with me and Lily,
it was 2008.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Long time ago. I could make those spiders dance.
Really?
Maybe they'd be happy for a while.
But yeah, I wouldn't consider something I saw at the Belcourt twice to be the same thing as seeing something a new film in theaters twice. Because I saw The Room one year, and then I went back a few years later and I saw it again. Yeah, I don't consider that the same as Walk Hard I watched twice in the same week. Or same thing for Spider-Verse. I was like, y'all need to come back. I want to see this again. Because I think the first time I saw it too, Corinne needed to go to the bathroom a few times because she was very small. And I was like, I want to see all the parts I missed and all the parts I didn't miss. I'm going back.
Going back in there.
Yeah. I think I brought her the second time too, but I just missed different parts of the movie each time. Badger Spanish says, I saw the first Avengers film 3 times. NJ says, I feel like I'm so far behind with the Spider-Verse. There's just one movie, NJ. You can catch up. It's got Nicolas Cage in it. I didn't know it had Nicolas Cage in it. I went in completely blind.
You don't need to watch the live action ones.
No.
Yeah, they're not related.
No, there were a bunch of cool people in there I didn't know were going to be there. Chris Pine from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Is in it.
John Mulaney's in it.
Oh, yeah. He's
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig. Yeah. Nope, Queen says, if you were one of the heroes from the Spider-Verse, who would you be? Probably one of the spider people, right? Is that the context? Like, would I be Spider Joe Hills?
Yeah, I think I'd be Aunt May.
Oh, you can be anybody.
Aunt May is a hero, don't you think?
Yeah.
That was part of the question. One of the heroes.
One of the heroes, yeah.
There are really only two categories. There are heroes and villains.
Yeah, is Iron Man a hero in the Spider-Verse?
I don't. Well,
they
don't own the rights to that character, so I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Sony.
So the Spider-Verse isn't the broader Marvel universe.
Nope, it's not Marvelverse. Into the Marvelverse.
Yeah, Blaze points out that Spider Joe makes sense because I'm already a web developer. See?
Oh wow.
Ta-da.
A web slinger.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on organic web slinging from the wrist or
chemical?
or the character creates a little wrist module? How do you feel about that?
I like the wrist module for Peter Parker.
Sure.
But like I understand why it wouldn't necessarily make sense for like I think Miles is supposed to be younger than Peter or whatever. Like if they're just trying to get somebody up to speed with You're the New Spider-Man, being like, and you've got to reverse engineer Spider-Man's chemicals, like seems kind of weird, right? So having that be organic, I've got no complaints about. But I always liked the element of Peter being a scientist and stuff. And that being one of the ways that he's messing around with his chemistry stuff is cool.
Mahi says Miles gets his wrist shooters from Peter.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think the only organic one is the Raimi movies.
Oh yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought Miles was organic too. Okay. It's been a while since I saw the original Spider-Verse movie.
I guess he's organic otherwise, but
yeah, he's got that lightning attack. He's got the invisible. That's. It's not like he's got an invisibility device. He just does that.
Sure.
He can't do it on command.
Yeah, just kind of like Cal Mitchell's character in Mystery Men. He can go invisible.
I really...
Just only when nobody's looking.
Yeah, I really like Peter B. Parker a lot. And maybe that's just because I'm kind of a loser. It's like, wow, Peter B. Parker, he's got a lot going for him, but he's still kind of a loser. And I'm like, yeah, that feels right. Because it's like, it's not that like, oh, I have nothing going for me. Because like, I have a show and people hang out and stuff. But like, I still constantly feel like,
I mean, I think there's that balance, there's a humanity there that the Chris Pine Spider-Man, like, how am I supposed to relate to this person,
Yeah, I mean, the Chris Pine Spider-Man is like...
perfect, and like,
Yeah.
He has everything he's ever wanted, and, that's boring,
Yeah.
Give me the good old pudgy Peter B. Parker. I like that guy.
But yeah, like I think the having a depressing apartment thing really makes it relatable.
Your apartment's not that depressing.
Well, it has to be, not depressing enough that like I'm not gonna get a judge yelling at me about where I'm raising my child. But like, I can definitely.
If you didn't have a child, you would just be like.
It would be a lot.
On a floor, you'd have, like,
it would be a lot worse.
It
would be a lot worse. Yeah, like I can definitely tell when I look around. I'm like, yep, that's effort that I'm putting. It's like a reminder that I'm in a. I've got 8 years left on this custody agreement. Like, that's why I bought that. That's,
Wowza.
Yeah. Like, I always feel like I'm about to move, so I never really buy anything for myself.
Sure.
For my living space, or I never buy anything that I'm attached to. The one thing I did buy that I was attached to was that old headboard, but I had to get rid of that when I got married, and I was really annoyed because it had like those reading lamps, and it was like the best, but it wasn't like we didn't have room for an extra headboard. And the
So
other
how much
one,
does it go for?
oh, you can't get it anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Like I've been wanting to replace it for years, and like all of the replacement versions are like this thing had like a bookshelf in it that was like 8 inches deep and reading lamps,
Oh, wow.
and it was. And, like, there's, like, some cheap knockoff ones that are, like, 3-inch deep bookshelves. Or, like, you can put... But I'm like, no. Like, after you
need
have...
to hire a carpenter, it sounds like.
Yeah, I do.
Which
But
costs
that's
money.
not something I... Yeah, but, like, that's the sort of thing, like, I'm like, I'm not going to do that when I'm still moving around apartment to apartment, having to haul it up and down stairs. It's like, when I eventually have my forever home, I'll commission a replacement for the thing I already had.
Yeah. Forever home. I want to be forever home. Yeah. How are we doing on our tips and our goals?
Great question, Quinn.
Feels like it's been a little bit.
Yeah, we are at 26 degrees angular.
26 degrees angular.
I will say PayPal has been a little bit flaky. Sometimes the tips only go to the phone, not the computer. So let me do a quick.
No.
It's like 1 in 20. So.
Hey, that's like
which is
20%.
Yeah, it's just that's 5%. But it's just
1 in 20.
Yeah. So like, I'll have 15 tips go through fine and be like, okay, I don't really need the phone anymore. It's working again, and then one of them just won't go through to the computer, and I don't know why. So. Yeah, but no, we haven't missed any yet today. I keep hoping they'll fix this. Nope Queen says, who has 3-inch deep books? Well, yeah, that's for people who, like, they want the aesthetic of having it look like their headboard is a bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, no, I'm like, I want an actual bookshelf. Like...
Joe Hills owns actual books.
I do.
Not ones that are fake, books that are 3 inches deep.
Yeah. Well, and it was great too, because since it already was wired with the lamps, the reading lamps, all your chargers and stuff you could plug in there too.
I love lamp.
I know. It's like the best part of Anchorman is how much that he loves lamp. I find that really relatable too.
Quite a bit, yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of characters that are relatable, like most of the cast there is so like wealthy and successful. I can't relate to them at all. But the weather guy, it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna toss some of these in here.
The Weatherman, starring Nicolas Cage.
That's a good movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah. What's that It's a Wonderful Life one where the angel is constantly messing with people? Family Man.
He's only in man movies,
Weatherman, Family Man.
The Rock Man.
The Rock Man.
Which was
originally titled The Thing.
Yeah. It was also a Mega Man adaptation.
Oh, yeah.
Rockman.
Nicolas Cage as Mega Man. Mm-hmm. And then Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Scissor Man.
Yeah. Sean Connery as Paper Man.
Yeah. Badger Spanish says, as someone with a dust allergy, the idea of sleeping with a bookshelf above me is a bit much.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I can dust. And I also, unlike in England where laundry machines are more rare, or like space isn't at a premium as much as London. Like, we can wash the sheets more easily and often.
True.
So like dust isn't.
Hey, what's this digital gauge up here? I just noticed it because it's reading at 666.
That is the parts per million for carbon dioxide. So
the number of the beast.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 667 now. That's a fine number.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Nero.
Did I hear a white noise? Yeah, that's the Guardian farm. Sorry. I can turn off mob sounds, but it is dark enough that actual mobs are kind of spawning too, so I kind of need them on at least low.
Did you hear a white noise? No, that's just Joe Hills.
Is that a hot air meter? It actually does have a thermometer on it too, but you can't see it. Well, I can't see it from this angle. You might be able to see the thermometer is lower down. The problem is I can't have that directly in front of my face, or it'll read the CO2 that I'm exhaling directly rather than the room's ambient CO2, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it has to be like a little bit up. And Jay says, I don't know if I could sleep with books above me because knowing my luck, they fall on my head when my body rolls over. Well, that's why it's like an 8-inch deep bookshelf, though. And you put like 5-inch deep books on there. So they're far from the...
Because it's like a level above, right?
Yeah,
it's not directly. The books aren't directly behind your head.
No, so it's like
there's like a solid.
There's like a solid level for like a foot or two for the pillows to be against.
Yeah, which is good if you want to sit up in bed. You're not.
Yeah. So you're not leaning on the books, right?
Sure.
And that's the other thing I've seen is some of the new bookshelf headboards. They don't have that back support there.
True. Yeah, I mean. Most bookshelf headboards I've seen have the like little shelves on the side of the headboard rather than.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Behind it. Yeah.
Any headboard we have will definitely get dyed pink wherever I rest my head. That's fine. I don't care if it's dyed pink. I care if it's functional.
Yeah, just paint everything pink in your future home.
Yeah, it's gonna look like a Barbie house. When does that movie come out? Is that coming out soon?
July 21st.
Okay.
I'm going to see it as soon as I can.
That's cool. Let me know how it is.
It comes out the same day as Oppenheimer. So a lot of people are doing a double feature.
I was going to say, if that's at the Montana Drive-In, that would be a good double feature to do. 'Cause
I'll look into it, yeah. But they are both, like, big movies, so they might split them up.
Yeah, they'll put one of them with, like, A Shark's Tale 4.
Sure.
But, like, I'm just kind of... Like, every time we go to, like, we went to the Regal Cinemas or the AMC. I don't know which one it was for the Guardians movie. And it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like the big chain movie theaters.
I think Belcourt is showing Oppenheimer on 35mm.
Oh, really? See...
35mm engagement starts July 20th. Which is a special day already.
Yeah, that's the moon landing celebration.
It is.
And my birthday.
And your birthday.
I hope I have a good birthday this year.
I hope you have a good birthday. Let's see. How old are you going to be?
I don't know. I think I'm going to be like 37.
Oh my god.
I'm so old. Or am I already 37? Okay,
I think you're the oldest thing I've ever met.
Hold on. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be 37.
And I've seen the Washington Monument. But you're older.
It took a long time to get that thing built. Nobody could agree on anything.
I know.
Like, how much aluminum do we want to put on the top? Aluminum's really expensive.
Yeah, there's stuff out there. I don't think they're showing Barbie at the Belcourt though, which is
yeah.
Is,
Well, where's the nearest like locally owned movie theater that shows like classic movies? Because there used to be one in downtown Winchester that's I think owned by the same people who own the Montana Drive-In now.
That shows classic movies.
No.
You mean it shows new?
I mean like a theater that's locally owned but shows new releases. Like the Belcourt shows a lot of art films, and it's not. Whereas like, where's the nearest locally owned theater that I could see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Does that make sense?
Sure. Let me look into it right now.
Because like there were so many trailers before that Guardians movie, and like, I don't know. And everything was so expensive, and like the movie theater's always been expensive. But like, if I'm gonna be paying somebody a lot of money, I want it to be somebody who at least lives in, you know, the same rough area as me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't even know where the people who run Regal Cinemas are based. Am I giving money to Ohio? Like...
To China.
Oh,
Who knows?
I don't think they're in China, are they? I'm assuming they're like Kroger, where it's just like somewhere in Ohio.
Well, I guess in a sense they are local. Their headquarters is in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, you know, you're helping the state of Tennessee.
So it is
I
at
guess,
least
by
staying in the
patronizing
state.
them.
Yeah. Okay. But I was gonna say, usually if a company's located here, like Hunt's Brothers Pizza or something, they're constantly sponsoring stuff around town, and I haven't seen anything sponsored by that movie theater.
But maybe in Knoxville.
Maybe in
we don't
Knoxville.
spend a lot of time in Knoxville.
We don't.
Haven't been there very much.
Well, that's partially because traffic is terrible on game days, and there's a lot of game days. First run movies might be the term I was looking for.
I was thinking about AMC. From 2012 to 2018, the Chinese conglomerate Wanda Group owned a majority stake in the company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that was only up till 2018, so I don't know what's going on now.
Yeah, well, hopefully someone does.
Hopefully.
Because I'm not keeping up with it.
And they're
Clearly.
headquartered in Kansas.
Oh.
Founded 103 years ago in Kansas City, Missouri. Did you know if you're on a TV show, you can get a direct flight from London to Kansas City?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, you can get a direct flight from Nashville to London. So, like, maybe that's not insane. But... I flew through New York on the way home, though.
Okay, so yeah.
Which was a big hassle. Having to go through customs and then hop a connecting flight. I don't recommend it. If you can get a direct flight, do it.
I don't like connecting flights.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I screw something up? What is that?
You screwed something. No.
What are you hinting at? Like, did I miss a tip?
That was actually clearing my voice. Clearing my throat.
Hey. Wait, hold on. Wait, have we not gotten any PayPal tips this stream? All the tips have been through YouTube.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah, it's because I'm like looking at this PayPal readout and I'm like, wait, why is my lift home last night the latest activity?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. Okay, no, that's right. Cool. Serena Higgins says, I lived just outside Kansas City, Missouri for several months. That's where I learned to play Magic: The Gathering. Ooh. Very fancy. Oh yeah, I should post the tipping link. Maybe that's why. Yeah, Badger is posting pictures of different types of bookshelf beds in the Discord chat. Yeah, that is the worst one, Badger, where the shelf is directly level with the pillows and you just knock everything over.
Yeah, that's bad.
All the time.
Ooh, I like that jumbo cube one. That's cool.
Remember the bookshelves they had in like the dorms of like Vandy Barnard? Yeah,
the ones that would like sit atop the desk?
Yeah, the ones that sit atop the desk. Because my computer monitor was so deep.
Whoa. How deep was it?
It was so deep. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Hey, we got a PayPal tip rolling in. Let's see who it is from.
Who is it from?
It's from Ellis, who says, Happy Pride, testing the tips. So thank you very much, Ellis,
Happy
for the
Pride, testing the tips, it works.
Woo! That's gonna get us to 31 degrees angular.
Thank you, Ellis, and happy Pride to all.
Yeah.
All a good pride.
So I will say that I actually,
I guess we should have done pride-themed things.
I mean, if you want, but
there's
like,
a whole month.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole month of it, and also I don't want you to be like, yeah, I'm only invited on this show because it's Pride Month.
True. I don't want to pigeonhole myself.
Yeah, I don't want this to be like tokenism, you know.
Yeah, jokenism.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm only here 'cause I'm queer.
But
I only stay 'cause I'm gay.
So, those Vandy Barnard bookshelves, though, they didn't have a base on them because they're intended to sit directly on top of your desk.
Right.
But my desk was too big. Or sorry, not my desk. My computer monitor was too big. And so it was hitting the first shelf on there. And the shelves on that were not adjustable.
Because this wasn't an LCD, right?
No, this is CRT.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
Just to give people more context of,
Yeah.
of why a monitor might be deep.
Yeah, why would a monitor be deep? That's a great... Yeah, if you go back and watch The Wire, you'll see there's computer monitors that have depth to them.
Cathode ray tube.
Yeah, Badger says, to be frank, we're both pretty good at woodworking. We could possibly do that stuff ourselves if we had the workshop space. You're not wrong. That's one of the other reasons that I haven't done it yet, is it's like, I'd rather get it exactly right, either commission it or build it, than, like, just buy one that I hate. But anyway, so because that bookshelf didn't have a base, and the shelves were in there so good, like, because this is college dorm room furniture and they want it to last like a decade of people misusing it, I decided, okay, well, let's misuse it. And I had the top bunk in my room freshman year. So I just took that shelf, and it was slightly wider than the bunk bed was.
Yeah.
So what I did was I put it over the head of the bed there, after pulling the bunk bed out a little bit, and then push the bunk bed back in, and like, because it was, you know, there was enough depth to it, it pinned it in there against the wall like perfectly. I was never worried about it like falling on me or anything.
Was your roommate ever worried about it falling?
No, because like I mean those beds are pretty heavy too.
Everything's
like all the furniture in the dorm is heavy. Yeah. So it's like I'm using a really heavy bunk bed to pin the shelf against the wall.
True.
And
yeah.
No, it worked fine. But yeah, that's just super convenient.
I think they phased out the bunk beds at a certain point, though.
I think no, they still have lofts though. They have loft beds for everybody with the desks underneath.
Oh right, yeah.
Some Nope Queen says we prefer Tolkienism. Yeah, here's my guest Smeagol.
Potatoes?
Let's go ahead and lay our heads down and dream. Let's see, we are 1 hour into the stream.
1 hour.
Clementine Campbell says, just realized I need to turn a book into the school because they're threatening to not give me my diploma. Wow.
Ooh.
That's harsh. Diplomas and graduation are our theme today. If we hit 180, what song are you going to be singing there, Quinn?
Good Riddance, The Time of Your Life by Green Day.
Yeah, that used to get played at graduations.
All the time.
All the time when
Maybe
I was
it
a kid.
still is.
I don't know if it still is. If
we don't go to a lot of graduations.
If anybody's been to a graduation recently, did they play Good Riddance by Green Day? No, now they just play American Idiot. It's like we've moved on.
Yeah. It's a very wistful, sentimental song.
Yeah. I mean, it really defined an era.
It did.
Or it captured it, at least.
Yeah. Capture the Era. It's my favorite game to play.
Ask Impulse. Oh yeah, I think Impulse's kid just graduated from high school.
Oh.
I don't want to share too much details about that because, like, you know, I don't know what level of detail he shared.
Sure.
And so that's the awkward thing is, like, I can be talking to somebody about, like, their vacation plans or something and be like, uh-oh, I better not mention that. And then people are like, what do you mean? He posted, you know, his picture of his airline tickets on Instagram. Everybody knows. It's like, oh,
right.
My bad.
Everybody knows their full name now, even though we never knew it before.
But
how was I supposed to know?
But, like, then there's other stuff, though, where it's like, no, Joe, you absolutely can't talk about that. That is, you know, and so, yeah. I'm just going to back away from that
Err
topic.
on the side of caution.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the book, I might just keep the book rather than get the diploma. Depends on what the book is, though.
Badger Spanish says stairs in British. Is that because they don't have graduation songs there?
Because they don't have Green Day over
They don't
there.
have Green Day. Oh, because of the Irish. Like I think the nation of Ireland got Green Day when they split up.
Right. Well, and does Northern Ireland have Orange Day?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, one of the hermits. Once again,
Orange
I don't want to
Tactics,
say
maybe.
who. That's a deep cut. I don't think did they ever put out an album even.
I don't know who was even in that.
I think one of them ended up kind of being like an actual skinhead, and so I kind of
That's
stopped.
bad.
Yeah, following them.
That's bad.
But yeah. I was kind of like done at that point.
Yeah, we don't like actual skinheads.
Yeah.
Or even
Yeah, because
anyone approaching skinhead.
I mentioned them to Lex at one point. I'm like, whatever happened to those guys? And he's like, oh, you don't want to know what happened to those guys.
What about Tree Fort?
Boulevard of Broken Dreams is the anthem of millennials after everything. What is that one? Is that one the one that I walk a lonely road along the road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's only me and I walk alone.
I walk a lonely street. Yeah, that's exactly.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
There's just that era of pop punk where every American lead singer sounds like nasally British for some reason.
Yeah.
Because they probably were all came up with the Clash and the Sex Pistols and some.
You're May on Spotify. We had
So
546 listeners. Huh. Okay.
I spilled the apple juice in the hall. Please tell Mom this is not my fault.
Fault? Not my fault, isn't it?
It's not my fault, isn't it? Isn't it?
Billy Joe is infamously nasal. Not to be confused with Billy Joel.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's only sometimes nasal, I would say.
Chewbacca writes, go waiting for my class graduation song back in 1999, Wald.
Oh.
Lowell.
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 Isn't Lowell a town in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yeah, never been.
I have actually. I was there recently.
Look at you. You were in Salem.
Yeah. No,
Salem.
yeah, because one of my friends lives there that I play Pathfinder with, and so for that Tuesday Pathfinder night, I actually was like,
Live and in person.
yeah, I'll come hang out, and we'll play in the same room for like the first time ever. So that was fun.
That's cool.
I mean, we were still like on Discord because the rest of the group
Sure,
was.
yeah.
But yeah, it was.
That's
But
cool,
yeah, he
man.
drove down towards Salem with his kid the night before, and we all went out and played pinball. And then I was like, okay, and then I'll drive up to you for
They
that.
have good pinball bars in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
I forget the name of it. It might have been the Bit Bar.
Bitbar.
Bitball. And then there was the one. So the one we went to was actually in Salem, and the one we met him and his kid at was outside Salem. So we went to two different pinball bars.
That's cool.
We didn't get to do any tournaments on the road. That was one regret I had, but you know, it's fine.
That's fine.
But like, I have met
always
so
be
many
more.
cool people who have been rolling through Nashville that just show up at our weekly tournament, and it's like, I want to show up at people's weekly tournaments. That seems fun.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I need to look to see if any of my tournament results have posted yet.
Oh, like any of them ever?
Yeah, because as of like last week, I still had nothing.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Hold on, that.
Okay, I finally have some stuff. Here we go.
Yeah, let's go to ifpapinball.com.
I got some stuff.
Okay.
I am currently ranked 14,252nd in the world.
Hey, you got your good photo in there. That's a good photo.
Yeah, I can take a good photo.
Yep. And then
I'm in the top 300 in Tennessee.
Yay. I think you're 24th in Tennessee for women.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's not bad at all.
That's true.
That Corinne's is this a women's open or women's closed? This is women's closed. Yeah, Corinne's 20th. So you're not doing bad there. Hey, we got another 5 rolling in from Lord Pie Crust. We're gonna rotate us to 36 degrees. Thanks, Lord Pie Crust. Oh boy.
Thanks, Lord Pie Crust, for your pie crust and your lording. Thank you, Lord Pie Crust.
Lord Pie Crust writes, OMG, you play Pathfinder? That's awesome. I'm going to start a campaign in a few weeks for my group.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. I didn't really know anything about it when I started playing, other than that it was similar to D&D, but that's what my dungeon master wanted to run. And, you know, you run the game, you pick the game, so.
That's just how it goes here, people.
Drew Baca says, I graduated back when graduation was still about optimism and stuff. Is it?
Wait, that's not how Dubaka sounds.
Oh, sorry. I'll let you do it then.
No, only you do it.
Okay. Dubaka, what? That was back in the day when they still talked about hope and opportunity during graduation.
There you go.
There we got it. Okay, we got it.
That's back when we were saying things like, I gotta wear sunglasses because my future's so bright.
Boy, yeah, back when they sold sunglasses. They don't even sell them anymore because nobody's future is so bright. It's kind of depressing when I think about it.
It reminds me of, it was like, sometimes I'll say things cheekily, if you will.
Sure.
And it was like January 2020, and I felt like my life was coming together, and so I was talking to a friend, and I was like, this year we're gonna have that 2020 vision, and then COVID happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or was already happening, unbeknownst to us.
And
so there you go.
Yeah, and we got another 8 rolling in from Benoni, who says, thanks for the streams. So 37 plus 8 is going to bring us up to 45.
45.
Woo.
We're a quarter of the way towards our first goal.
Badger Spanish says you outrank Badger, Quinn. I've been in one tournament and I came last. Don't worry, Badger. You'll have plenty of chances.
Yes. Oh, one of our friends is ranked number 4 in women.
Yeah, she had a really, like, if you get, there's so few events in this series. If you take first in one of them, you're pretty,
which she did, yeah.
Which she did, yeah. You're pretty much in good shape for the
very nice
for the top 10 there.
Cool.
Okay, so we've already. So that one did go to the computer. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of these are going to the computer and some of these aren't.
I see.
Bama Girl says, now I want to join a pinball tournament. Good, they're a lot of fun.
You should.
No, I was talking to some guy just last night. It was like his first tournament ever. He seemed to have a good time. Oh. Evil Freak says, Joe, I can't wait to see this project finished. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. I definitely have too many inventory slots with torches right now.
NJ says, graduated in 96. I think We Are the Champions was the hot high school graduation song then.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it was pre-Vitamin C song.
Yeah, that tracks.
So y'all couldn't be friends forever. That's tough. You just had to be champions.
Lakshmi13 says, my college graduation in 2000 had a speaker who decided to compliment the arts, which is great, but then insulted the sciences. He didn't understand that just because we were a liberal arts college, that didn't mean we didn't have science majors. It was awkward. Oh.
You know, when I was invited to do this talk, I was so glad to hear it's a liberal arts school.
If it was a liberal science school, I'd have been right out of there. Yeah, I see something, I'm like, is that an Erlenmeyer flask? Get that out of my face. Get more like an out of here flask, am I right?
Yep. You know, my wife is always buying these flowers, and the first thing I do is I take the stem and I snap it in half, because I don't like stem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, any sort of floral arrangement, completely stemless. It's out of here.
And I see the flowers, I start thinking about science. Ugh. Ugh. Chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, so for people, so Badger, yeah, the match played out events doesn't show all of the events. For finding stuff based on geography, for the actual tournaments, ifpa.com/calendar, and then enter your location and your driving radius. But yeah, Pinball Map is fantastic for finding, like, arcades in general. I found the arcades that host tournaments are often the best arcades because tournament players have a certain level of expectation about how well maintained the machines are. Like, you can't run a tournament if the machines aren't maintained properly.
Sure.
So you can go on Pinball Map, and like that pinball museum we visited in Gatlinburg, where like 2/3 of the machines were broken somehow. It was an amazing collection, but they didn't have anybody who worked there who knew how to fix them.
Yeah, that was rough.
And like some of the fixes were just like, just replace this rubber band, but you'd have to unscrew something, and they didn't have anybody there who felt confident enough to unscrew the machine, so it's just broken.
It's just broken. Yeah, a lot of times they were broken but still plugged in. Which is
Yeah. And so I'd start playing it, and I'd be like, oh, the rubber band on that sling is just missing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not missing. It fell over there. It's still in the machine.
Right, so not only is it broken and they don't have a technician, but maybe the employees aren't aware that it's broken? Which is like a whole other degree of, okay, they really need help here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's the sort of thing where it's like, I mean, they must know that most of these are broken somehow. So I feel weird.
But
I like after the third time
Yeah,
the third time I go to the desk, hey, just so you know, there's this going on with Indiana Jones. Hey, just so you know, there's this going on with. I'm like, they know. They don't care.
They know. And they don't care. They know. But they don't care.
Wyvern's Flight says, oh, cool, there's actually some pinball machines on the local mall on the map. Awesome.
Ooh. Head down to your local mall.
Head down to your local mall today.
To play some pinball.
Putting the mall in Pinball.
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 Mall ball. That sounds like some kind of sport we would have created while we were bored in high school.
Yeah. We didn't really hang
Going
out
over
in
to the Tullahoma Mall to play some mall ball.
We didn't really hang out in the mall much because it was like the most boring place.
Yeah, and like the store fronts were like half empty.
Well, but the thing is, though, we were surrounded by both interesting natural stuff and interesting abandoned buildings. And so, like, there wasn't, like, a lot of strong incentive to go to the mall when it's like, oh, hey, do you want to go explore this abandoned water pumping station? Right? Do you want to go explore this
there
abandoned
also wasn't really
leather
a place
works?
to hang out at the mall other than the fun tunnel, I guess, for a little bit. But there wasn't like a, let's go down to the soda shop at the mall.
Yeah, there was no Pops at the mall. There was a Claire's. There was a Dillard's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
There was a Foot Locker.
Yeah, and you had to spend money at the mall, which we didn't have.
Some things never change.
Yeah, I know. Boy, a lot of slimes jumping around over there.
Having a slime of a time. My whole life.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, there's some shows where they really have, like, one place that everybody goes, like Pops and Archie, or, like, the diner.
Cheers and Cheers.
Yeah, and Cheers and Cheers, they're always gonna
knows
Cheers.
their name.
There, in Scrubs, there's, like, one bar. Because I guess it's easier to just always use the same set, you know,
definitely.
For that stuff. It's like, okay, we're making a lot of these episodes. We're just going to have one bar that everybody goes to all the time, you know. That was something I appreciated about The Wire. Like, there's the cop bar, but then there's also a bunch of other random bars, too.
True.
But, like, yeah.
Because there are people who only go to one bar, but I would say most people, you know, it just depends on whatever the mood is or where they are geographically.
I went to a new bar last night.
New bar?
Yeah. Wake up, Quinn. New bar just dropped. Yeah, because the bathroom was broken at no quarter. And, so there's a sign that says, you know, bathroom broken, please go next door. And Amanda asked me, she's like, do you think they mean
no quarter has 2 bathrooms. So that means
I think there was a problem with the plumbing or something.
Okay,
yeah.
So you went?
So yeah, Amanda was just like, Joe, did you see the sign? When they say go next door, do you think they mean to go to the Tiki bar? And I'm like, well, on the other side, there's a parking garage. So, I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, so yeah, I went over to that Tiki bar, because that's a 21 and up venue, because they don't serve food, so Corinne's not allowed in there. So I've never been.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool decorations and stuff. They've got a karaoke stage with like a giant Elvira and a skeleton. And
hey, we like Elvira around here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like, so Tiki bars are like kind of a 60s thing, but there's a lot of, but like the guy grew up in the 80s, and so there's like a lot of like Burt Reynolds stuff everywhere and Elvira stuff. And Tron stuff. Like the bathroom is actually Tron themed.
Does it have any overlapping ownership with the Pinball bar?
No, but the owner of the Tiki bar is in the pinball tournament every week. Dave Young.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, I went over there for the first time, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually way cooler than I was expecting. I was thinking it was just gonna be like a straight Tiki bar, but it's I've never actually read Ready Player One.
Or seen the film. The now a major motion picture.
Yeah, well,
you're not missing much.
The reason I didn't see it was
one of Spielberg's worst.
Well, it was like a spite film. So the thing is that, like, in the book, Spielberg's works, like E.T. and Jaws and stuff, are a major thing.
Exactly.
And he agreed to direct it as long as the film didn't include any elements of his work. That was how they got Spielberg for it. And so I was just like, I appreciate Spielberg's hustle on locking in that deal, but that makes me not want to see the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, he made it for him, for contractual reasons. That doesn't inspire me. But
right, because there are many Spielberg characters you would have liked to have seen, like the Animaniacs, for instance.
I love the Animaniacs. Yeah.
Probably are in the book.
I haven't read.
I haven't read the book, but I
I
imagine they're main characters in some way.
Yeah. Maybe the main character.
Or the main antagonist. I don't know.
But yeah, no, I never got around to reading the book, and so I haven't seen the film. But based on what people described, where they're like, it's like a love letter to the 1980s. I'm like,
do we need a love letter to the 1980s?
Well, if you wanted a tiki bar that was also a love letter to the 1980s, I was at one last night, and it was actually really cool. It was a very cool setup.
That is cool.
And I tried a couple of their custom cocktails. I don't like one of them was like coffee and rum, and I'm like, that's a great combination. But like, cause yeah, even though like, I talked to like David said like, oh yeah, folks don't need to buy anything to use the bathroom. We're pals with the no quarter guys, whatever.
Sure.
I always feel kind of weird if I'm like going in somewhere to use the bathroom and not buying anything. So.
Well, because a lot of places, yeah.
It's an actual policy, which I think normally if you were just coming in off the street, they wouldn't. But like because it's like, hey, we're helping out our neighbors who have
it's a little different. Yeah. It's also like if you're gonna stay or all sorts of factors.
But anyway, so like that was cool.
That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah,
like karaoke. So.
Yeah, over the summer when I don't have Corinne, like, might be something to check out. And since it's right next to no quarter anyway, if I'm like, you know what, this karaoke night isn't for me. I don't want to. What am I gonna do now? I guess I'll go next door and play pinball. It's a very low risk thing.
Yes. Or this pinball night isn't for me.
Go next door and do Tiki bar.
Yeah. Though I don't think you've ever had too much pinball.
Adam says coffee and rum. That sounds horrible. Well, I mean, it depends if you like. Well, it was like iced coffee. It wasn't hot coffee. But yeah, it was iced coffee, rum, and pineapple, which I haven't had pineapple in coffee before. But it actually worked better than I was expecting. But that's the point of like going out to me to some degree is like I don't just like want to have something that I would make at home but pay 8 times as much. I want to try something that I'm like that would never have occurred to me to make, or I would never have these ingredients.
Yeah, rum, pineapple, coffee.
Yeah.
NJ says pineapple rum is yum.
Good rhyme, NJ. And now we won't forget. Like I feel like that I would have forgotten that it was delicious.
Me too.
But now I've got a little mnemonic. Pineapple rum is yum. Bum.
Pineapple rum is yum.
Yay.
Yay. How many degrees rotationally are we?
We're at 45 degrees angular right now.
45 degrees.
Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are splitting those 50-50. Our first goal is 180, and we're going to perform Good Riddance. And if we hit 360, the Beetlejuice will be doing Friends Forever by Vitamin C, which is, like, non-ironically one of my favorite songs ever. I don't know why. I just like it a lot.
It's a good song.
It just makes me happy when I listen to it. Hey, we got a tip rolling in already from Rex Verde.
Rex Verde.
As I drop.
Thank you for tipping. Showing me.
Woo. Yeah, you're literally tipping the camera.
Tipping this camera.
A sib stream. How can I not tilt that cam a bit? So here we go. Rotating the camera to 65.
65.
65.
On the silver stream.
Ooh.
Sip streaming and dreaming. Well, I'm glad PayPal seems to be functioning to some degree.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, woo.
We're doing it.
We're doing it, Joe. We did it.
Hey, we got another tip rolling in from Aaron Ferreira for 5. Woo.
Thank you.
So rotating up to 70 degrees now. Woo.
The numbers keep getting bigger.
Numbers getting bigger.
Lines on your face are getting longer.
Rotating the web camera. Maybe we will sing a song about graduating. It's like eating, but throwing hats. I don't know what I'm doing with this one. Yeah, I'm tilting inside the pinball machine. That's true. Okay. Oh, I meant to move this camera there so that I'm blocking Quinn less of the time. Sorry. I moved it part way, but not as far as usual.
I am here.
Oh, you know what it is? You moved your chair after the tripod thing.
Oh, did I?
Because I had it set up for where... Yeah, it's fine. It's very easy to fix. I just fixed it. So don't move back. But, yeah, I was like, how did I screw that up? No, I had it perfect for where you were before, and then I just tweaked it for where you are now. So we're all set. No tilting at windmills, yep. I am High Don Quixote, the man of La Mancha. My destiny calls and I go. The wild winds of fortune will carry me onward, whithersoever they blow. Okay. So, I know I put this floor here, but I don't think that's a good idea.
Hey, Joe Hills can kind of sing.
Kind of. Not consistently. Like everything.
Only
it's
when you're
like,
using that voice.
yeah, it's like I can do certain things.
Happy birthday to you.
Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños. There's not actually somebody whose birthday it is. I'm just going low for no reason. La da da da.
Till 64. And then that's it.
That's how many Nintendos there are.
Yeah. That there are.
Okay.
When are we getting? When are we getting that Super Switch? Huh?
What's the... Do you mean the OLED Switch?
No. You know, the Super Power Glove. When are we getting that?
Oh, yeah. The Switch hand, or whatever.
The new Switch. But not like the new 3DS.
Oh, that was...
Their naming conventions.
Their naming conventions. Oh my gosh. Like...
They're almost as bad as Microsoft Xbox
oh my gosh.
conventions.
Oh, yeah, I saw Manu...
The new 3DS XXL.
Yeah, Manu from Mystery Pinball Theater 3000 was just spent the last 2 weeks fighting with his computer because OBS kept crashing. It turns out there was like a Windows 11 bug. And people are like, Joe, why don't you want to upgrade? It's like, because I don't want to lose a week and a half of work time because all of a sudden the core of my business software stopped working.
I have never heard anything good about Windows 11.
Oh my gosh.
Not a one thing.
Yeah. If y'all are ever like, Joe, are you talking nice about Minecraft because you get paid by Microsoft? Don't install Windows 11. Would somebody getting paid by Microsoft tell you that?
We do not get paid
We do not get paid by Microsoft. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. But yeah.
You know, we might be open to it if
yeah,
if opportunity strikes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Microsoft was like, we'll give you a new Windows 11 PC, I would say no. If they said, we'll give you enough money to buy a Mac Pro if you talk nice about Windows 11, I'd be like, well, I do want to buy a Mac Pro.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I would not want to get paid in merchandise to talk nice about Windows.
No, yeah. And usually those, like, pre-built PCs that are given for sponsorships are kind of iffy anyway.
Yeah, they've got the cheapest power supplies and stuff. It's like,
yeah.
oh man, my power supply on this thing, I bought it out of pocket. It's like 1250 watt power supply or something.
My word.
But yeah, the thing is that,
Job done.
well, like the computer doesn't draw 1200 watts,
Sure.
but the fan on this the power supply is rated for such a high wattage that the fan only has to kick in if you go above 850.
Wow.
And I like never go above 850.
Yeah, that's great.
So what I'm paying for is a power supply that can run silently at 850 watts.
Right.
Which is fantastic. Hey. Fantastic. But yeah, they don't put power supplies like that.
Are there any
in
downsides to having that additional wattage?
just how much it costs.
Oh, okay.
Like, because it doesn't draw that power unless it needs it, right?
Because
But
I always see people talking about, like, well, make sure you use this wattage calculator. You don't want to buy more than you need.
well, calculators run on batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I could see in some cases that being the case. But, like, no, for a computer
I
power
mean, for a computer power supply calculator, like,
oh,
put
well,
in your parts, and then we'll tell you how much wattage you need.
oh,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah, yeah.
calculator
The reason for that is to save money.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's a business expense where your whole business is audio, like, having a power supply that runs silently at my normal operating draw is huge. Like, it's just great. I'm very happy with that decision.
It's good to know.
It's yeah. So I mean, because you do a lot of audio stuff too, and I mean, you can filter it out to some degree, but not having to is just nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that they don't put in their, the promotional gaming computers.
Yeah. I do most of my audio on a 2019 Intel MacBook Pro.
Oh, those Intel MacBook
Those
Pros run
fans
loud.
Spin up, but usually
Yeah.
I keep a healthy distance between my microphones and those fans.
Yeah.
Try to isolate.
When I used to use my Intel Mac laptop for recording and streaming, I would have the Mac laptop like under the table as far away as possible from the mic,
Yeah,
and like keyboard, mouse, and everything on top of the table,
that's fair.
and that worked pretty well. It wasn't perfect, but it worked well enough. But yeah, that was definitely a concern. And then with my old gaming PC, or several of my gaming PC generations, I actually had them outside the closet I was recording in with all the cables running in. So that way they wouldn't be filling the closet with heat too.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's nice having a larger room set up now. Fortune 3. Adam says, another thing about overspec PSUs, or another thing about power supplies is they do degrade over time. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So if your power supply has like exactly the headroom that you need, like over time as the capacitors age and stuff, you're gonna see like a slight fall off, and you might all of a sudden start exceeding the practical max might become lower over the course of 5 to 6 years.
Okay. But
So
hopefully by that point,
yeah. So with mine,
you can get a new PC or whatever.
yeah,
A new power supply.
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about MacBook Pros. I was like, oh, when is the WWDC?
WWDC is on
It's
Monday.
coming up really soon. June 5th.
I know. I am so
10 a.m.
excited.
Pacific.
I am so excited. Like,
What are you hoping to see, Joe?
I really want to see what they're doing with the VR AR stuff. Yeah, I still have
I
my.
never got into that.
I got into it some during the pandemic. I got the Valve Index.
You played a lot of golf.
Yeah, it was a great way to network with people and hang out with people that like I would hang out with at conventions in other years, right? So, because like it's really not healthy for my only interactions with other people online to be like people who watch my show.
Sure.
And so it was a good way to hang out with people who don't like Minecraft. And that's fine,
well, and
because that's...
also, like, voice chat feels much more social.
Yeah.
Personal.
Well, but, like, also, like, we could go do stuff together and be talking about what we were
golf.
doing. Yeah, like playing mini golf and stuff. But yeah, I played with a bunch of people in the pinball community, like Carl D'Angelo, who runs some of the West Coast tournaments. I hung out with Scott Denisi, who made Total Nuclear Annihilation. Like... Yeah, a bunch of really cool people in the pinball community had VR stuff, and we're like, I can't go outside and it's driving me nuts. Let's hang out. I was like, awesome. Y'all are super cool. But yeah, I've still got my Apple developer license.
Okay.
So, because I used to occasionally have to like, I never built an app from scratch that like went into the App Store, but sometimes my clients would be like, hey, we paid a company to develop this app, and now we need to recompile it or something for the new iPhone. And so can you recompile this app? And, like, sometimes you just open it up in, what do you call it? There's an Apple developer software I'm blanking on the name of, but it's like a 20 gigabyte download. Gosh, I forget. I don't use it all the time, but like if it's like I can, you know, open the they got the source code from the company that designed it for them in the first place when they got the app built. You know, I open it up, I hit compile with the new targets, and it runs. And sometimes there would be like, oh no, there's an error because of something about how we handle strings. And it's like, okay, let me read the documentation, because, like, you know, anything that they change about how the compiler handles stuff, they write up documentation for it. Xtools, yeah, that might be it. Yeah. And so, like, I'd be like, okay, so the way they handle strings changed slightly, so we need to move these arguments around, or add another argument, which is, you know, I changed, like, 16 lines of code, and now it compiles. Now, somebody who didn't have any experience as a developer would not have necessarily been able, even if they could, like, oh, yeah, I could Google to find that documentation. They might not have been able to, like, read it and understand it and apply, you know, the stuff.
Yeah, probably not.
So, but yeah, so yeah, I've helped with, I guess, a couple of App Store apps in that way. But it's not something I do, like, regularly. But
it's something you can do.
Yeah.
So
But
you're interested in the VR AR.
I am, and I'm also interested to see if they announce a new Mac Pro, because I've been talking to Mumbo Sumbo about...
Mumbo Sumbo.
He's using the Mac Studio for all his Minecraft stuff and his video production stuff. And, like, the Mac Studio's been out for about 2 years now, and it's, like, due for an upgrade.
Yeah.
So I want to see what the new Mac Pro looks
and
like.
The Studio's kind of in between a MacBook Pro and a Mac Pro, right?
Yeah, it's like better than a Mac Mini.
Right.
But I wanna at least, before I decide if I'm gonna invest in a studio, I wanna see what the difference is between it and the Mac Pro.
Sure.
And so I'm waiting for that announcement. Because, like, one of the big things that the studio doesn't have is PCI slots. And for, like, I'd love to be able to... I prefer to plug in capture cards and stuff directly, rather than having a bunch of Thunderbolt cables.
I hate having cables with the capture card. So
Yeah.
I finally have a PCI one.
Yeah. Well, Mumbo was talking about how he's got this great Pelican case for his monitor and Mac Studio, and so when he's traveling, he can just
Wow.
It's like
Yeah, I guess
super...
the Mac Studio's pretty low profile.
Yeah.
Not that large.
Yeah, so it's great for when he travels a lot. And, like, you know, I'm hoping to do more traveling and stuff in the long term, even if I'm not there today financially.
Sure.
So, like, investing in something... Like, this current desktop, I couldn't take on a plane. But the Mac Studio Pelican case is, like, super easy. Like, I think it's like carry-on friendly, basically. He's like, yeah, just carry it on with me.
Yeah, it's no larger than like a Nintendo GameCube, right?
Yeah, the computer itself is about the size of a GameCube, and then the case is designed to also hold a monitor, all your cables, your mouse and keyboard.
What size monitor would you say?
Not a huge
Like
one.
A portable,
because it
15 to 16 inch.
Yeah, just something to get by when you're traveling. You know, your home setup can be more fancy, but like
Of course.
enough to fit. But like, you know, if you think about like the footprint of like a rolling carry-on bag, you know, you could fit a decent sized monitor in there.
That's true.
So.
And monitors are quite flat these days.
Yeah. So I might end up getting the studio in the long term, but there's been a few hermits that have had problems where if you only have one recording computer and it dies, and then you're just screwed for a week and a half. So I want to get my next desktop before this one dies, which, you know, not like this week or anything, but like sometime while this thing still has a year or two left in it.
Yeah.
And then while the next thing has a year or two left in it, I'll buy another one. And also, the idea is that Badger can use the other computer or other, like if Cub Fan came down for the week, you know, I could let him stream on the second desktop or record on the second desktop or, you know, whatever. Just being able to have, you know, a guest setup that's actually usable.
You want to be prepared.
Yeah, so
before the day the computer dies.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is I like the idea of having them, like, one of them's running Windows, one of them's running OS 10. So even if there's a Windows update that breaks OBS, right, it's not going to break on both computers. Yeah. So even, like, less catastrophic computer failures, I'm still covered.
That's good.
Yeah, so with that developer license, though, I am eligible to purchase dev kits, was why I brought it up.
Oh.
So I don't know how much the...
What would be the benefit to that?
Okay, so let's say that they're like, we've got a consumer-grade M1 computer coming out in a year, but we've got...
Just M1?
Well, no. This is an example of something that actually did happen.
Oh, I see.
So when the M1 was announced, they're like, we've got a Mac Mini based on the current iPhone chip, which is not as good as the M1's going to be. We have announced the M1, but that's not going to be ready for y'all to have in dev kits yet. But we've got a mock-up with the current iPhone chip in it, so you can at least test your software.
Right, which is... What is their convention? A9, A7?
Yeah, it was like an A9 or something. Yeah. So I actually put in a request. I wanted to get one of those to try and compile OBS on it. But I was not an established enough developer to get approved for that.
Oh, I see.
So, like, in that case, they had fewer dev kits than they had devs who wanted them. Although with the VR goggles, I'm not sure that that'll be the case. But, like, I would have the option of applying to get a dev kit for the VR AR stuff. Now, that might be NDA'd. That's part of what would... Like, if I'm allowed to show it on stream and mess around with it on stream, that would be a lot of fun. Like, it's like, hey... Because, like, I've wanted to mess around with Swift. I just haven't had, like, a good excuse.
Sure.
And anything that helps me, like, you know, anything that helps me kind of keep my developer credentials fresh, like, because I don't want to be a web developer long term, or ever again. But like, if something goes wrong and I need to get another job as a programmer, being able to say like, oh yeah, I was doing a lot of streaming, but I also did this project with the Apple AR glasses. You know, doesn't hurt.
Yes, you keep up to date.
Yeah, I didn't, you know, I didn't become a web developer because I wanted to. It was just the easiest barrier to entry development job in Nashville at the time, right? But like, you know, it's like, okay.
Well, it's also something that you understood the basics of, because you know, you learned QBasic.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing HTML and CSS for hobbies projects for years, and so yeah, I knew them. It wasn't like my dream job or anything. Whereas like, you know, working on making VR games would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, and so like
VR troopers, pretty cool.
we are VR troopers. We go virtual reality troopers.
Yeah, that never had a reboot, did it?
No, I don't think so.
Never will.
But yeah. Now it's possible though that they might be like, yeah, and the developer kits for these headsets are $4,000 or something. In which case, I'm out. That's not happening. But you know, I'm curious. You know, you asked what I'm curious to see, and that's one of the things I'm curious to see. Like, are they going to do dev kits for those? What are they going to cost? You know,
because I was curious.
Yeah,
you were curious to see.
Yeah, and that's the sort of thing too. Like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. Like I said, I don't have anything in particular I want to make with it. I'm just curious.
That's an okay thing to be, I think.
Yeah. But I really expected I was going to do more programming and developing on stream.
Of what, though?
I've had a few side projects that I wanted to get to, and I just was always like, I'm so far behind on editing videos, I can't justify launching a new streaming series about programming.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of like... But yeah, so if they announce any particular API or something, because that's the other thing too, is WWDC is a developer conference. So they'll launch like new APIs, which is like access protocol interfaces, I think, for things, and be like, oh, hey, there's now the ability for the Apple Watch to do this. And if I'm like, oh, okay, I could do a cool project with that. Like, you know, I don't know what I'm going to see announced, but there might be fun ideas in there. I did think about making an abacus app, or an abacus, if you will, for keeping track of streaming tips.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to bring that thing on the road with me.
Sure.
It's kind of
and you could
awkward.
Make on the app for it to go beyond the numbers that this one can measure.
Yeah. And like I was like, okay, and I can say to have like a chroma green background, so I can also feed the video into the desktop and show it as an overlay and stuff. Or do I have any record discs to spare? Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, and you can have a little color slider for people to customize that. Or something.
Yeah.
You know.
So I thought about doing something like that, but like it was honestly that the physical abacus is so fine for almost everything, and I don't travel that much.
Sure.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm
surprised there isn't an abacus app.
It's not that there aren't any, it's that there aren't any that met my specific needs.
Like a chroma green background.
Well, yeah, being able to set the background colors or the colors in general is huge.
Yeah, bead colors, yeah.
Some of them it's like, well, this is only available as a free app that's going to show ads every few minutes, and I'm like, I don't want to be feeding their ads into my stream.
Yeah, or there's always apps that are like, it's available on iPad but not iPhone
or something. Yeah.
There's always weird things going on.
I'd rather own my stack.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, but yeah. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of WWDC.
We'll see, boys.
Yeah, I usually live tweet that when I can.
We'll see. Oreo pack.
Just as a reminder, we are coming up on the 2-hour mark, and tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are $110 away from our goal of 180, where Quinn will perform Good Riddance by Green Day. If we hit 360, the Beetlejuice will perform Friends Forever, the graduation song by Vitamin C. Yay. Craig Sirota says, sounds like a fun project I could throw together on the weekend for you. Well, the thing is, I'd like to do it myself, because like I said, part of it is resume proofing.
Yes.
And just being able to say, like, you know, oh, while I was streaming, I threw together some utility apps that would help me with my job.
Mm-hmm.
Just having anything is like, it's not the sort of thing that I'm stressed out about per se.
Yeah,
but
you're not traveling and streaming that much.
Yeah, but like anything I can do to kind of future proof, like sometimes like Microsoft will make announcements where they're like shutting down a bunch of Minecraft servers, and I'll be like, oh gosh. I'm really at somebody else's whim here.
Yeah. Have they ever shut down HermitCraft?
No. But
That'd be a mistake.
I mean, that's not to say they couldn't. So basically, yeah, they decided that anything that reflects poorly on the brand, they're trying to shut down. And that includes mini games that have guns in them, or servers that have like gun mods.
Oh wow.
And like
so no gun mods here.
Yeah, but I mean, if
also I would argue that HermitCraft has brought them a lot of business. So
I would argue with that too,
not,
but like
I would hope they not cross y'all in that way.
The thing is, though, that like they get a lot of they already have the name recognition. They don't need us bringing them more business at the like.
At this point,
they've got what they need from us, you know. But realistically, anytime like a company that sells paintbrushes starts like shutting down people who paint certain things, that worries me. When the people who make tools start restricting what they're used for.
Yeah, well, we see that happening kind of across the board.
Yeah.
Governmentally, corporately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Contarod says, HermitCraft is why I started playing Minecraft. Yeah.
HermitCraft is why I know about Minecraft.
Yeah, I mean, and Microsoft, like, has a history of doing this sort of thing, too. Like, they got rid of Microsoft Flight Simulator for, like, 20 years after 9/11. Because they were just like, we don't want... Which, I mean, nobody wants people flying planes into buildings. And it's like, you know, it was reported that the terrorists had used Microsoft Flight Simulator for their practice.
Right.
And they were just like, well, we're getting rid of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But there's so many people that loved that game and used it to legitimately practice flying different kinds of planes who are aviators. Like, it...
Yeah, the vast majority of the audience was not using it to plan terrorist attacks.
No, but... Now, granted, one particularly famous example did,
Sure.
but, like... Yeah,
one that I'll never forget.
Yeah, but it's the sort of thing where like I feel like trusting that I will have an income doing this to Microsoft forever. How is there a skeleton right there?
Yeah, that was surprising.
That was surprising. But yeah, yeah, it just feels like it's responsible of me to keep my resume relatively up to date as a developer.
Yep.
And if I can use this...
Keep that resi crispy, folks.
Yeah, if I can use this time as an opportunity to redirect it, like... Because, like, if I applied for a job at a game studio now, they'd be like, all you've ever done is make websites. Do you want to make websites for us? I'd be like, no.
Or all you've ever done is play games, but we're not looking for testers.
Yeah, we don't need somebody who knows how to play a video game. We need somebody... So, like, that's where, like, okay, if I did a few streams... where it's like, okay, we're going to make a game, or we're going to... Because, like, the utility app thing at least is, like, demonstrating I'm using, I'm programming in Swift for iOS, rather than, like, HTML and CSS, PHP, and MySQL.
Well, and, there's a lot of... If you were to venture into things like Unity or Unreal, a lot of those are free downloads,
Yeah, and, the thing with those is, like, if I was doing some sort of game design, that could be logical. At the same time, though, I'm kind of curious to see, like, so for example, if Apple puts out a bunch of new APIs for their headset, that are locked into coding in using like their metal system or something like that. If I can get in on that sort of thing early, maybe my foot in the door is with a Unity shop where I'm like, look, I don't know Unity, but you've got 8 guys that know Unity. What I know is how to get it to hook into these special APIs that Apple's been working on, right? So, because, like, I don't, to some degree, like, Unity development is the web dev of game development. But, like, yeah. I would have an easier time with my resume if I'm like, I have 2 years of experience with this new thing that's been out for 2 years versus I have 2 years of experience with something that everybody else here has been doing for 16 years.
Yeah.
Because I think, well, not that Unity might not be 16 years old, but it's been around a while.
It's been around.
You know. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna look at what they put out and see if any of it's of interest to me. And once again, like, if it's got a $4,000 price tag, I'm not buying that dev kit either way.
Nope.
But yeah. Although I might be able, it's also possible though that they might say, hey, because dev kits are limited, if you already have a Valve Index or an Oculus, you can test, you know, on those.
True, that'd be cool.
And I've already got the Valve Index, so.
Already do.
Yep. I should probably apologize to Quinn for all the programming talk. Quinn drove all the way across town here, and we are splitting the tips. And
you don't have to apologize.
This is maybe.
I asked you. I was the one who brought up WWDC.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because I enjoy learning about these things.
Luna says, HermitCraft is the best Minecraft has to offer, and this server has working connections with high-ranked devs. I understand the general existential fear, and you're correct to have contingency plans, but I wouldn't be too fearful about your server getting cut off. Well, that's the thing, though, is I'm not worried about them targeting HermitCraft. I'm worried about them just saying, we're going to have a blanket policy change, right?
Sure,
like,
and that was mostly coming from me, because I didn't know that y'all have relationships with devs.
But the thing is, though,
devs.
the Microsoft devs aren't the ones making the policies.
Decisions.
Yeah, that's
a lot of times it's people who don't know what they're doing making the policies.
Yeah,
who are paid millions of dollars for some reason.
So, like, if they ask the developers, like, hey, should we shut down any server that uses gun mods? I don't think the developers would say yes. I think they'd say, oh, that's cool that people are developing their own mods, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's a PayPal alert that my hosting just went through. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so if they decide we want to shut down any server that has a mini game inside of a castle.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, we really hate
it's
rooks.
A bad week
so
for castles.
all castles are Nathan Fillion's castle right out. But yeah, it's a whole thing, where if you're using somebody else's tools, you're really at their whim. This is why open source is so great. Like, because like with Linux and stuff, it's really hard for someone to do a complete rug pull.
Right.
Even if a particular company goes under or goes bad, there's going to be options.
Right.
Like when Red Hat pulled CentOS, all of a sudden we've got people who are forking CentOS, who built it from the beginning before it was bought by Red Hat, who are working on solutions, right?
Yeah, that's the Avengers guy, right? CentOS.
Is there an Avengers guy named CentOS? I actually don't know.
He's inevitable.
Okay. I guess I don't know who you're referencing.
It's got that Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, Thanos. Okay.
Oh, CentOS.
It's like I feel like you're referencing something and I have no idea what it is.
Oh boy, oh boy. I think I'm gonna go home and take a nap after this.
Oh, that sounds good.
because I didn't get very much sleep last night, and I'm not gonna get very much sleep tonight either.
No, and I got a lot of editing to do. Oh, just as a reminder, there's no stream tonight.
No streams tonight from Joe or I. No streams tonight.
And no stream tomorrow morning either.
Or tomorrow morning.
This is a very weird week for stream schedules.
It's a very weird week. Haven't streamed at all because it's a weird week.
Okay. Hey, Rusty the Paladin. Welcome. Let's try and put some of these down. That one's full. Let's try and put some of these down that are not full so we can fill them.
Where are we? 70 degrees?
We're still at 70 degrees, 110 away from our goal to sing Good Riddance. Cole Atticus says Minecraft isn't open source? No. It is definitely not.
No.
It's not free software. It doesn't have a Libre license.
Mm-hmm. Like LibreOffice.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, so the people who make Minecraft can do whatever they want. And, yeah. It's hard to think of, like, an equivalent in, like, other media. Like, if you were a...
You mean like an open source TV show?
No, I'm like if you were a stage actor,
Mhm.
and, like, the company that made comedy and drama masks, and comedy and tragedy masks, like, was like, we're not selling to you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You could just go buy different masks, right?
Yeah.
But, like, or if a paint company was like, we don't want to sell to painters who vote a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, fine, I'll just buy my paint from another company. But, like, we're artists who use a tool that's
One particular tool
that's owned by one particular company that, like I said, shut down Flight Simulator for 20 years.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people watching right now who are very interested in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe they'd watch another streamer rather than you if you couldn't play Minecraft.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I wouldn't begrudge anyone.
Yeah, well, Microsoft started going after people who organize Minecraft events.
Like unofficial
like
Minecraft?
conventions. Yeah. And so, like, we were looking at organizing some Minecraft conventions ourselves, actually, like Hermit Cons. And now they're going to have to be HermitCraft TCG conventions, where maybe we'll talk about Minecraft a little bit, but, like, the word Minecraft will not be anywhere on the website or, like, yeah.
Well, that's a nice loophole you found.
Yeah.
You just had to create an entire separate game.
Yeah, we just had to create our own game to have conventions around. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A children's card game?
So. But yeah, I mean, anything that they threw at us, we could roll with the punches on in the long term. But in the short term, I'm living to paycheck, you know? Some of the other hermits have savings, but I burned through...
What a savings.
Yeah, I burned through all those when we had that 3-month hiatus, and then anything I rebuilt went into paying for the several $1,000s for the immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I currently have no savings other than I have a retirement account that every time I take money out of it, I have to pay a huge tax penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be able to last more than a few months out of that, even if I had to. So yeah, it's good for me to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Just in case. It would be irresponsible of me as a parent to not have a backup plan.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I need to go get another pickaxe too.
Another pickaxe.
I know, I'm just burning through them super fast.
How dare you?
There's also this awkward place where the 2 beacons that make me mine faster don't quite reach. Like, I'm like awkwardly between the 2 of them. Hey, we got a tip rolling in. Let's see who it is from. Okay, give me a second while I load.
Giving you a second.
Thank you to Rebecca for tipping 15. That's going to get us to 85. Only 95 away from that goal. Okay. Uh-oh. Slime monster. Unlimited Creativity says, I've been with the same small company for 10 years. I'm realizing I need to move and wish I'd explored backup plans earlier. Yeah. Yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah. Some tough times out here.
Is there a service that you use for, like, is there like a industry standard thing for video or cinematic work for transferring like large files for editing? Or is that basically ad hoc company by company? Like they run their own file servers?
I don't know, because I haven't worked on that scale before.
Gotcha.
You know, they're... Could be possible.
MB the Sponge suggests Dropbox. You might want something... Because, like, for example, I was using... since I'm paying for Google Business, I was trying to back up some video files there to free up some hard drive space. Oops, there's that pic. And, like... It's, like, choking on the Final Cut Pro project files. And I'm like, I wonder if somebody's got something that's, like, more special... And it also has, like, a really low upload speed cap. Because they apparently just don't want you dumping, you know, terabytes of video into there. Even though I'm paying for, like, 20 terabytes of storage. They're like, you can have 20 terabytes of storage, but don't upload more than 75 gigabytes a day. I don't want to use Amazon.
Yeah, Google Drive.
Yeah, what I'm probably going to end up doing is just rolling my own. Because, like... What I want to do is actually rent like half a rack over at one of like there's some hosting places downtown or over in what's that area where the Guitar Center is by 100 Oaks? I forget.
100 Oaks area?
Yeah, that 100 Oaks area. There's like a hosting place out there.
Oh, the 100 Acre Wood.
Yeah, the 100 Acre Wood. Yeah, no, there's like, I might end up just, like, in the long term, I want to self-host my Minecraft servers, because I'm paying, like, hundreds of dollars a month.
And you already
now.
self-host your show.
Yeah.
Well, not today.
But, like, it's the sort of thing, though, where, you know, you basically get, like, a cage over a rack, and you put your servers in there. And, at that point, you know, what I'd probably do is just get, like, a big RAID array and network server and upload the stuff to that. But I'm just not quite there. But, yeah. I'm curious to see with the M3 chips how good the single core performance is,
Mm-hmm.
because right now I'm paying a hefty monthly leasing fee for these like Xeons are server grade, well, not low heat, but high reliability. My brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe's mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this because my server bill just came through, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, oh boy, if I had just bought these computers. The problem is they won't sell the chips I want to consumers at, like, I can't just buy 2 servers with these chips easily, right?
No.
So like the hosting companies can get them because they're ordering hundreds or thousands. But if I'm able to move,
Yeah, you don't need that many.
yeah, I need 2 of them basically. So like if the M3 Mac Mini has comparable single core performance,
Sure.
I mean, I can put 2 Mac Minis in a cage, buy them for like $600 each.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm paying like $300 a month for hosting.
Right.
So spend $1,200 up front and then spend less than $300 a month on that half rack with like data connections and stuff. Also put like a network file server in there just for offsite backups of all the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Despite all my rage, I'm still 2 Mac Minis in a cage.
Yeah. But like the now that they've got Java running natively on the ARM, the performance is amazing.
Very big on Java here.
Yeah. So I was just curious because, like, I was planning on rolling my own, but if there was, like, a go-to industry solution, I wanted to read about, like, oh, well, what do they do that's so great, and which of those things can I implement for my own setup?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm feeling very do-it-yourself-y. I think, like...
DIY?
Yeah, well, because I have...
2K23?
You know, I have extra energy when Corinne's not here. And, like, I've talked to Cleo about this, and she's like, your kid seems great. I don't see why you would be tired from parenting. And I'm like, no matter how great your kid is, there's still a lot of...
spend a lot of energy
and
involved. Time as well.
Yeah. If you're spending a lot of time with your kid and putting a lot of energy into making that time meaningful, and then you have, like, 6 weeks coming up when your kid isn't going to be there, you can safely assume you're going to have extra time and energy, you know, for big projects and stuff. So
yeah, like if you're not bringing your kid to and from school.
Oh yeah, that like completely frees up my afternoon.
Right, because altogether, like dropping her off, picking her up, going there, going back. What do you think? That's 40 minutes of your day?
I don't want to go into specifics because of geography, but yeah, but like
it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Having, you know, having to prepare meals for her at certain times, you know, like
even the mental energy of like making decisions based on what this person needs or what this person wants.
Yeah.
Versus just like defaulting to what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Which can be easier.
Yeah, because she's away at camp this week, and then I'm going to be hanging out with her next week, and then she goes out to her mom's for about 6 weeks. And so it's like all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I have this extra time and energy. How can I use it well? What can I invest this time in now that'll pay off all year, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to be looking really hard at what they announce at WWDC and seeing if there's any projects like moving to self-hosting on the Mac Minis. The M2 single-core performance is good, but it's about on par with where the fancy server chips I'm paying for are now. So I'd rather go to my Patreon people and be like, okay, this is actually an upgrade.
Sure.
You know, rather than this is a lateral move. But the fact that it's the fact that it's even close right now is really impressive.
True.
Okay. NJ says, that reminds me, my brother was just in Lebanon this weekend. Near you-ish.
Lebanon, Tennessee?
Not the Middle East, then.
No.
Oh. They have some good food, though. I haven't,
Lebanese food?
yeah, I haven't been to
Or the
Lebanon
town of
itself,
Lebanon,
but I've had Lebanese food before. It's really good. Darth Vorthen says, Quake and Fear Hill siblings. Darth Vorthen is here. Howdy, y'all. And tips 10. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Darth Vorthen. We are quaking in fear.
I realized that the abacus wasn't caught up, but the rotation is 95 degrees coming your way. Yeah, so the abacus
We're
actually...
halfway there to our first goal.
Yeah, so to get the abacus caught up, we are now 5 away from hitting 100. We are, what, 85 away from hitting our musical goal of 180 to perform Good Riddance by Green Day.
Had $100.
I'd sing Green Day.
Had $100. I'd sing a Green Day song, but maybe not that Green Day song.
Yeah. I've been responsible for server racks at companies I've worked at before. I've never done a co-located server rack on somebody else's premises. So there will be some learning there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know how to set up a server in a rack and walk away.
In a rack?
Not in Iraq.
Oh, I see.
Which is also near Lebanon, not Tennessee.
We've been to neither.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where you've been, but I haven't.
I haven't been to Iraq.
That's okay.
Okay, we are gonna need... Okay, we're gonna need to go get some stuff to make more chests. Luckily, I bought that earlier.
You've been to the U.S., Canada, and England, right?
Yeah.
That's here.
Now, you did a Europe trip, though, too, at some
I
point.
did a Euro trip.
Where'd you go?
Started in London. This was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Then went to Berlin. Was in Bavaria for a few days, or Bavaria.
Is it actually pronounced Bavaria?
By
can't
many
tell.
of the locals, yeah.
Oh, I was like, are you being sarcastic, or is that...
No, it's not even an uwu thing.
Okay.
And then I was in Rotterdam. Rotterdam's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like the architecture there. And then Amsterdam.
That's cool. The locals pronounce it Bayern. They just have a totally different name for it.
What?
Or maybe that's Lebayern,
I
like
don't
Lebanon.
know. Maybe it was just when they're speaking English, but people there would say like, "Oh, that's very cool."
Oh.
That's very cool.
Okay, we need to put
So
more
I don't
chests.
have an issue with. The only problem I have is if I'm like in a place for a couple of days and there's a very particular like dialect, then I start falling into it myself, and that can be, that can seem offensive, even though
Yeah, if you're
I'm
not
trying to.
doing it right, yeah.
Like anytime we're in New Jersey and we're spending extended time with Jersey accented folks.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, exactly. It just
Out of my way.
comes out. It comes out.
Aunt Eileen, what's that I hear about Dad? When Dad was little, what was that thing you were saying?
Yeah, if Joe for any reason ever moved to New Jersey, he would change his dialect for the stream.
Oh,
accordingly.
Absolutely.
It'd be goodbye, Country Joe.
Yeah. That's why I was practicing my Boston accent extensively, just in case we moved to Salem.
guess you'd have to drop howdy as well. They don't really say that much in Salem, do they?
Coven's greetings.
Salutations.
Was that Boston? No, it's not even a good Boston accent. It's more of a Cape Cod, I think.
Yeah, you need to work on your Southie.
Yeah.
Southie Boston, right? Depends on where we are in Boston.
Take me home, concrete roads, to a place near Boston. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Park the car in Harvard Yard. I slit a sheet, I slat upon a slitted sheet, I sat.
I don't think I know that one.
That was one of my theater tongue twister warm-ups.
Oh, those are
You know,
fun.
like red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah, or how now, brown cow.
How now, brown cow.
Oh, I was gonna ask, who's the actor who played Gene Cousineau in The Mask Collector? I tried to Google this, and, like, the results on Google were just, like, a bunch of, like, synopses of the Barry finale.
Let me look it up on IMDb. That's probably the source to go to.
Okay. I guess I'm not good enough at using IMDb to find things on demand.
I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
You're demanding it, and I'm gonna find it.
Woo!
Woo woo! Let's see, Season 4, Episode 8, titled, Wow. Wow. Oh, wow.
Down by the bay, where the crab fishermen go, back to my home, I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a lobster kissing a mobster down by the bay?
I did see that. I did see. Oh, so the actor's name is Michael Cumsty?
Oh, yeah?
We share a birthday.
Okay, what else is he in? Because he was a really interesting choice.
He was in 7 episodes of Severance. He was
He was
in the movie.
Wait, he was in 7 episodes of Severance? I've seen
Mr.
Severance.
Grainer is his character's name in Severance.
Oh, wait. He's a security guy?
Maybe.
Is that Mr. Grainer?
I'd have to rewatch it. I probably should rewatch it.
He looked a lot
anyway.
younger in that. What else is he in?
Well, I think they like grade him up for the
For the Gene Cousineau thing?
exactly to get the Cousineau look. He was in a movie called The Ice Storm in 1997.
Okay.
He was in he was on a TV series called The OA for 1 episode. Looks like it does a lot of like guest starring roles. He was on Boardwalk Empire for 6 episodes.
Yeah, because he seemed familiar, but I was like, with the accent, I'm like, is he actually British, or is that like a fake? Because like,
Yeah, he
it's
was on 17 episodes of the show L.A. Law in the early 90s. He was on an episode of Matlock. I just saw that they're rebooting Matlock. I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
Starring Kathy Bates.
Oh, I like Kathy Bates.
Yeah, she's great.
Because as soon as you said they're rebooting Matlock, I'm like, well, that's gonna be terrible. You're like, oh, they got Kathy Bates. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like a network show on CBS.
What was the Kathy Bates had a network show like maybe 10 years ago.
Harry's Law.
Harry's Law. I loved Harry's Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love that you knew exactly. I haven't thought about that show for all this time, and I'm just like, Kathy Bates had a show 10 years ago. Yeah, and you knew it.
yeah, and I actually didn't see it. It's because I was reading the comments underneath the trailer video. And a lot of people in the comments were talking about like, oh, it's too bad that Harry's Law was canceled. but this looks like it'll be a great opportunity for her to come back, and you know,
Yeah.
So, so that's why I perfectly read your mind.
Yeah, because Harry's Law was
Hey,
fantastic.
this guy was also on 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager.
Ooh. What is he on Voyager? Was he a recurring character, or is he...
Lord Burleigh.
Lord Burleigh.
Is that like a holodeck episode?
I don't...
Burleigh.
Maybe he was one of the people that when Janeway would do her, like, weird novels... Pull that up. Okay, you're up who Lord
Weird.
Burleigh is.
Okay.
You said you're the one who's good at this stuff.
Sure. Well, I do have like okay, here we go. Memory Alpha, Lord Burleigh. Aha! Lord Burleigh was a character in Captain Janeway's holodeck program, Janeway Lambda 1. So we were both right.
So I called it. Yeah, I was like, that's...
I said holodeck, and
Yeah.
you said novel, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just-
what
it's one and the same.
Yeah, her hollow novels. They're all like Victorian or something Regency.
I completely forgot that she even had those. I need to rewatch this show.
Yeah. I tried rewatching it at one point. I mean, I had to skip a lot of the first 2 seasons because they're so mean to the Doctor. Like, you know how like in what do you call it? In Next Generation, everybody like some people think Data's a little weird, but they're all like, you know, he's one of the crew.
Sure.
Whereas they're like the Doctor is just like a fancy tourniquet, and they're just jerks to him like nonstop. And he constantly like he's not consulted on anything, even if there's medical implications, and he's out of the loop and he's annoyed all the time. And like I understand that they wanted to have like something different than Data, but it's like I don't know.
I don't know.
They're just really mean to him.
Yeah.
It's like Star Trek, where we look for opportunities to be mean to people who are different.
Oh.
You know, it's like, I don't think that's really what the show is. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think it should be.
Oh, I'm so excited about this Strange New Worlds Boiler and Mariner
crossover.
from Lower Decks.
Yes.
Yeah, every time
True.
they post new production stills, I'm just like, they completely nailed it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that cartoons are now like casting race accurate voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this were to happen, like 10 years ago, it would not be the case.
Yeah, yeah. And they would not have had somebody who could play each person.
Right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to play themselves, basically.
Yeah.
Or play their live action characters. Well, their cartoon characters in live action.
Yeah. Well, and the Lower Decks outfits actually look really good in real life,
Mhm.
even though, they were designed to be animated and not
Yeah, they did. I
worn.
did see this. Yeah, they look good. They look really good. What are we? 85?
85 away from our goal. We're hitting 11 a.m., which is usually about when we wrap up. So we'll give everybody a little bit of a chance to tip. Once again, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Serena Higgins says, they were so mean to the Doctor, but they got better over time. There was character growth, and Robert Picardo did perfectly in the role. I guess what I'm saying, though, is like their whole jobs as Starfleet officers is to seek out new life and new civilizations and stuff. And just being jerks for no reason to somebody for being different feels weird.
It's not consistent with
that
any of what this universe is supposed to be like.
Well, at least
from Starfleet perspective.
At least in their profession.
Exactly.
And I guess you could argue, well, some of the Maquis, I was annoyed. Another thing that I didn't like is I felt like they integrated the Maquis crew really quickly. Like, I feel like the Maquis crew shouldn't have been allowed to have Starfleet uniforms at first.
Yeah.
And that's like a big turning point is when Janeway's like, okay, Chakotay, you could be my second in command, but you're not Starfleet. You left. We're in this. This is a collaboration, but and then you know, but like the end of the first season is Chakotay putting on the Starfleet uniform again for the first time.
It's like, okay, well, you
Like,
are Starfleet, yeah.
That's the sort of character growth and like relationship growth I want to see as an arc. Not, oh, let's not be mean to the Doctor. You know, it feels like a squandered opportunity there.
Yeah, let's not be mean to the Doctor.
Did I press the button from Mumbo's diamond machine? Yeah, I pressed it like 6 times, but it's always been on green, so I never got any diamonds.
Boo.
Yeah, I know, right?
What does it have to be on to get diamonds?
Whatever's after green. But
Yellow?
maybe. I don't know. It's been a while since I
Yellowish
looked
green?
at it. Yeah, I'd have to go look at it
What
to
comes
figure out what
after
color comes
green?
next.
I don't know. What comes after blue? Don't even know what that means.
Yeah. What is this pit for? I don't even...
Is it your pit?
Yeah. I guess. It's in my base. I just...
So what is it for?
I maybe there was sand or something in there that I dug out. I was like, ooh, we'll grab that real quick. Or maybe it was naturally occurring.
I hate sand.
Okay, so here's our other beacon here. See, now that we've got this hole done, we can fly in and out of there way easier, too.
That is nice.
Because I was having to fly all the way up to here. Whoops, no, I missed it.
Nope.
But, like, once I started walling this in, the only way to get down to there was super inconvenient.
Super inconvenient.
Has X up to some... What's X up to? He's relogging a lot. I don't know. Computer stuff.
We don't know.
We don't question it. That's not...
I am not my ex's keeper.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, Grian asked me before we blowed up all the TNT. He's like, did we run a server backup? And I'm like, Grian, this isn't that kind of show. Like, it's like, we got one at midnight. I'm sure it's fine. And Impulse is like, I got a lot done today. And I'm like, the odds of this TNT corrupting the world are very low. Now, the reason to get a backup would be if something goes wrong with the explosion and I wanted to film it again. But
Sure.
it's not that kind of show.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, and like, losing one day, you can recover from that.
Yeah. Well, also, like, people are used to, like, Doc doing stuff where it's like, okay, I've got this set up. So he's, like, intentionally breaking the world. He's, like, taking advantage of bugs, right? And so, like, if you're intentionally corrupting the world, yeah, you maybe want an extra backup just because we don't... If it corrupts the...
Yeah, he seems to always be, like, unleashing hellspawn upon your world.
Yeah, it's like, okay, just in case, like, hey, I found this bug that will let it arbitrarily overwrite data or something in the world files. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but arbitrarily overwriting data in the world files is the sort of thing you want to have a backup right before, just in case you overwrite it wrong.
And also, we like data. Don't be mean to data.
Yeah, don't be mean to data.
Or the Doctor.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed those Dr. Donna specials aren't out yet.
Yeah, when do those come out?
I think it might be New Year's. I think it's 2024.
They're teasing those well ahead of time.
Well,
That's like 7 months early.
Because the problem is they're not using practical effects anymore. When you're using practical effects, you can just film it and get it out the door.
Yeah, true. That's really too bad.
But it used to be, when the TARDIS came in, they would have somebody yell, "Look over there," and then the camera would turn left, somebody would wheel it out, and then they look back, and it's like, oh, where did that come from?
Yep, just cuts in nicely.
Yeah, it's like, next problem.
Hey, things are much... In camera, as much as you can do in camera as possible is the best way to go.
Well, that's what's so fun about Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, is it's almost all in camera effects.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that one. I was actually playing Dracula last night in the pinball tournament.
Yeah, that is a license.
That's the license based on that Francis Ford Coppola version.
Yeah. Starring Keanu Reeves.
Transit Biker says the movie Magic episode on Dracula is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's my sister, Quinn. Wolfie2 says, Sideways Cam is giving me a stitch in my neck. Well, that's okay. The camera will rotate when we get actual tips. You can tip the camera. 1 degree per $1. Gamer Tiger says, Quinn, I love your songs.
Thank you. I appreciate your love.
BKJ says, do you think they'll remake Star Trek with actual AI characters rather than actors portraying the AI?
What?
I don't think that makes any sense.
No.
Like if you're like, okay, so instead of having Data played by Brent Spiner, we'll have Data played by a computer program? Like...
Right, are you saying that everyone else will have scripted lines, but then this, like... AI character will have their own lines that make no sense.
Well, the AI character would need to have it. The writers would write this at the point where the writers are
writing. It's not AI.
Yeah,
it's just maybe a CGI
it's a puppet.
Character. Yeah, exactly.
It's a text-to-speech engine at that point.
Yeah.
Like if it was an improv show, then you could arguably like see how the AI riffs on the fly. But like Brent Spiner wasn't making up Data's lines as he went.
No.
You know.
Well, and one of the major things behind the current writer's strike is a lot of writers would not like to use AI.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame them after what happened to the translation people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that entire industry got devastated by Google Translate, which isn't even technically AI. It's just a fancy semantics engine, kind of.
Yeah.
It's basically looking up grammar rules and vocabulary, but something doesn't have to be AI to cost people their jobs.
No.
Or to gut an industry.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you're still using translators for novels and stuff, but it used to be, like, instructions and recipes and all sorts of other stuff that companies would make. They would hire translators to be like, okay, let's put this in French, let's put this in Italian.
Right, and that's the thing, like, a lot of people don't understand is that there is an art to technical writing.
Yeah.
Like, they're having a person writing an instruction manual will always be better than... having ChatGPT write it.
Well, so the thing is, though, the way this was explained to me is that the translators used to get paid, like, let's just use a round number, $20 a page or something like that, right?
Sure.
To do a translation from scratch. But now the companies are like, well, we don't need you to do a translation from scratch. We already plugged it into Google Translate. We'll pay you half of what we used to pay you.
Sure.
In order for you to edit the Google Translate and just review it for us. And then the translators end up going, the Google Translate is so wrong here, I'm going to have to retranslate this from scratch anyway.
Right.
But they're not getting paid what they used to make, even though they're doing the same job with the extra step of having to be like, we need to throw out the computer
they're just
part.
Considered editors.
Yeah, right? And so... They're considered to be polishing the computer's work rather than doing it themselves, even though they're still doing it themselves and getting paid less.
Right.
So that's where a lot of this would go. You're gonna see people's jobs replaced with AI jobs, and then your job is to supervise the AI.
Yeah, because a lot of studio executives have talked about, like, imagine a world where we can have AI writing our TV shows, and then we just have one person, overseeing it. In a writer capacity.
Yeah.
And that's just frightening.
And I mean, if you got a guy who's like Sorkin, who's just like, man, I got this duffel bag full of cocaine, and I'm just going to rewrite 30 scripts a night. Like, people might be like, wow, this AI-driven work is so good, it seems practically human. It's because that guy did a lot of cocaine and rewrote it all every night,
Yeah.
Like...
Exactly. Like Stephen King in the 80s.
Oh, did he do a lot of cocaine? I didn't.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I knew he was very productive, but I didn't know that.
Yes. NJ says, off to lunch. Have a good day. Catch you later.
Bye, NJ.
Bye,
Have a good lunch.
NJ. Have a good lunch. Have a good day. Catch you later. Yeah, another big issue is most television programs lowering their episode count, or having what's called a mini room, which is just like, okay, you just have like a small group of writers working for a couple weeks, which doesn't pay someone's bills if they don't have another job coming up, as opposed to, you know, the old days when you might have 22 or 26 episodes a year, and so you're working all year round, and you can support yourself and your family as a writer. It's much harder to do these days.
So, what do you think is up with the push to shorter seasons?
I think a lot of it is money. I think there was a time, you know, around when kind of the start of the quote-unquote golden age of television with like The Sopranos and The Wire, where showrunners were seeing like, okay, I'm not going to do 20 plus episodes in a season, but that means I can spend more money per episode to make it, you know, have higher production value, and, you know, it's more cinematic and it's more comparable to what quality people might expect in a movie, and we can travel to more locations, and we can, you know, do all of these things. But then that comes at a cost, you know. Cost to the people who need to support themselves.
So, because it seems like so why were television seasons 26 episodes in the first place? Do you know that? Because I don't. This isn't a hypothetical where I'm like, let me tell you a story about TV. I'm like, I actually don't know why shows used to be 26 episodes in general.
Well, because that's
half
like
a year?
Yeah, so there'd be like a fall season of television and a spring season.
Yeah.
And
well,
yeah. And it was just like any other job where you show up and you're there every day and you're always writing on your show, and, you know, there's security to that we don't have anymore.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, there's also a lot of shows that were like multicam sitcoms.
Yeah.
You know, we're often having like a 2-week turnaround time, you know, where, you know, they just, or sometimes even shorter than that.
Yeah. They just shoot it as they go.
Yeah. Or like shows like South Park, where they have the scripts and the episodes done all within 7 days or less, you know.
Yeah. Well, because it seems like, okay, if you're running a TV network and it's ad-supported, you need to have people watching as many hours as possible.
Yeah, that's another thing.
To make the ad, you need ratings in every time slot that are going to outcompete you so you can sell ads. Whereas with Netflix just has to have one show a month to get me to subscribe to Netflix. And they don't even do that. Like, they fail a lot of times. Like, I cancel my Netflix account constantly. A lot of times I'll make funny jokes in the cancellation thing, because I'm like, this is a high point of my year. Like, every month that I don't have to pay for Netflix or Hulu, I'll put on pause for months at a time. Like, all of these things, like, I don't keep them all going at once.
Yeah, and a lot of with the advent of streamers, with just like there aren't as many like flagship shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I suppose it's the financial idea of like diversifying your portfolio rather than like dedicating the studio's resources to just a handful of shows that you make all year round.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, let's do 6 episodes of this. Let's do, and we'll see what hits and what sticks. You know.
Well, for example, for the TGIF block, which
Right.
was on ABC Friday nights, that was like the comedy block. They had Full House, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, a bunch of stuff. But they needed to have, in order to get people to watch that every Friday night, they needed to have new episodes of several different shows with the idea, like, you got to watch this show, then the one after, then the one after. And they could sell ads to advertisers saying, hey, this is a strong block. We got a 2-hour block here.
Yes, and there's, the barrier for entry was much lower because shows were largely episodic then.
Mm-hmm.
If you had never seen an episode of Family Matters, but you came in season 3 and turned it on, you could still enjoy it.
You'd be like, okay, I get it. There's a
get
family, they got an annoying neighbor, they got a time machine, the neighbor's hot now, I get it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. The same way that Quantum Leap tells you the premise at the start of the episode.
Yeah.
There's an annoying neighbor, he's got a time machine.
Yeah.
He's hot now.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And so, I guess what I'm saying is, I feel like with the advent of streaming, there's not really any reason for a channel to make a show that runs 26 episode seasons.
Right.
At all.
No. So maybe there's a way to package a writer's contract, or like we'll have the same writer's room working on these 2 13-episode shows.
Well, and the thing is, though, I don't know, for example, if that's a good fit. Like, let me give an
Sure.
example like that. I think actually is really close to being, like, the folks that write Always Sunny and the folks that write Mythic Quest. There's a little bit of overlap there,
There is, yeah.
but there are specific people who work on each show because, like, Mythic Quest needs people who understand video games,
Yes.
and Always Sunny doesn't, right?
Sure.
But having that writer's room be 100% overlapping between the shows because of the differences in subject matter, even though the production company and all that, like, there's a ton of overlap at every level, it wouldn't be a great fit.
Sure.
And so you'd end
but
up...
then who gets left behind,
No, I understand that. I guess what I'm saying, though, is, like, it feels like unless, like, a lot of times creators want to work on different types of shows. Like, the point of having 2 projects rather than one project that's twice as long is to explore entirely different concepts. And when you're
then
exploring...
maybe there's something more akin to the studio star system.
Tell me about that. I think I know what that is, but I'm probably wrong. And our viewers might not know, especially our international audience. What's the Hollywood star system? Studio star system.
That is, back in the day, like, Humphrey Bogart was contracted to only work for one film studio. And would only be in that film studio's movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, that can be really limiting.
Yeah.
That can be really limiting, but if you say, like, okay, well, I'm a writer for Warner Brothers, and so I'll be working on a number of different Warner Brothers shows this year.
Yeah.
But I'm able to, like, choose a little bit within that system. I just can't work for any other studio's TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So then there is, like, maybe more security there, but it's not a perfect solution.
Yeah, because let's say that you want to pitch a show that your studio wouldn't want to make, but Paramount would.
Right. Well, and a lot of people who are contracted to a studio have something called a first look deal.
where they get right of first refusal, but if the studio you're contracted with says no,
you're still able to go to a different studio.
They just get it first.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring it to y'all first. We have a relationship, blah, blah, blah.
Because, yeah, it really... So I think that WGBH Boston had something like what you're describing, where, like, I met somebody who was a writer for a few of their shows.
Okay, like Arthur?
Yeah, I don't know if she worked on Arthur in particular, but she definitely worked on Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Clifford the Big Red Dog.
And she was,
Cyber Chase, was that one of their shows?
I don't know, but like the point was that she worked on more than one of their shows and she had different levels of apathy about some of them.
Sure.
Like in particular, she's like, yeah, I think her least favorite was what she called Clifford the Big Red Paycheck. It's just like, okay.
But you have the paycheck.
But you have the paycheck, but like,
Yeah.
also like, would it have been better if that job went to somebody who wanted to work on Clifford?
Yeah, someone who's genuinely interested in large red dogs.
I mean, like, it sounds like a sarcastic question, but like, you know, if the studio's like, okay, we've got this project coming up that nobody wants to work on, but who works here,
Sure.
but we're gonna put our regular guys on it instead of saying like, man, we want people who are excited about dogs, you know.
Yeah. There's just
I'm not
no, I mean, and I agree with you. Like, I feel like writers should have protections.
Yeah, I want protections for writers. I'm not sure that I've figured out like what positive thing to advocate for here.
Well, yeah, because we're not like we can't just go back to everything is episodic and we're not doing serialized shows anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lose something with that. You know, I like serialized shows.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, there's how do you do it all?
Yeah.
And make sure everyone's treated fairly and paid fairly, and also that you're being inclusive. That's very important as well.
Yeah, because
if you just have like, oh, these are our 20 writers for the studio, and they've been here a long time, and they just all happen to be white guys.
Yeah,
you know,
that's not going to help. And if you're not bringing in new people for some of these projects, if you're like, okay, we're just going to give this to the existing stable all the time,
exactly,
that's going to stop people from having opportunities to get started in the business.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because like one of the incentives of doing the 26 episode season was if you could get to 100, you could do the syndication deal.
Right, which means you could get syndicated within less than 4 seasons.
Yeah, but
less than 4.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore with really anything. There's no more real syndication deals, or they're not as lucrative when they happen.
Yeah, not syndication per se. There's very big streaming deals.
But the streaming deals don't have minimum episode counts associated with them.
No, they don't.
So
yeah, like when Seinfeld came to Netflix, that was like, I don't know, what was that, $500 million or something?
Oh yeah.
You know, there's like absurd amounts of money being thrown around, but
most shows aren't Seinfeld.
Exactly, and you know, a lot of that money is being sent to the rights holders, and not necessarily to, you know, the person who wrote that each specific episode.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just the showrunners get that money. You know,
yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, like, is this a work for hire thing, or do you get residuals?
Exactly. Because residual checks from streaming services are like just a tiny fraction of what they used to be for like TV syndication.
Yeah. Well, and they're not doing like DVD sales and stuff anymore with that as a revenue option.
Yeah, I really like physical media, but
yeah. Well, I miss the commentary tracks.
Yeah, we lose out on a lot of like commentary tracks, behind the scenes, special features stuff.
Oh yeah, like I loved watching like all the behind the scenes stuff on The Office, where they're just like the commentary tracks where it's just here's 3 of the actors in a room talking about what filming that was like.
Yeah, and for me as like a kid, that was a window into the world of filmmaking that I wouldn't have been able to see otherwise.
Oh, exactly. It definitely influenced like how I approached creative production stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't give
watching,
specific
like,
examples.
But for me, like watching all of the Lord of the Rings extended edition special features,
Mm-hmm.
when I was like a young teenager.
Yeah.
Like you see people doing these things, it demystifies it in a way that makes it tangible and makes you think like, oh, I could do something like this. Okay, I just need like a camera and some people, and I can do something.
Yeah. So this might be kind of a dumb question, but I'm vaguely exploring the space. This is not me setting up an argument. This is just me exploring the conceptual area.
Space, the final frontier.
How are playwrights paid these days? Do you know about that?
Playwrights. Well, playwrights are.
I know they're a different thing, but I'm trying to feel kind of the whole area out, right?
Playwrights are much more respected, like in the world of theater. Like it's the playwrights who kind of has the final say.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it is similar to like a TV showrunner per se, but I mean playwrights are paid, I'm sure, like by the theatrical engagement, and then for the initial run and whatnot, and then different smaller theater companies pay licensing fees.
Yeah. So there's
but usually
licensing
all of that
fees.
goes to the playwright.
So there's licensing fees. If you wanted to perform Our Town, the family of the guy that wrote Our Town is gonna get like a licensing fee based on like the number of seats in your theater.
Thornton Wilder.
Yeah, Thornton Wilder's family. I think it's based on the number of seats in your theater. If I'm not wildly incorrect, like a high school is gonna pay different than a Broadway theater type of thing.
That's probably like circumstantial.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, it's a 20-person theater, but it's I don't know, a theater owned by Brad Pitt, and all of his patrons are A-list celebrities. I don't know.
Okay.
They're probably special cases.
Okay, but like, it feels like there's an opportunity to, like, so residuals are based on views, basically, though, based on the estimated viewership of the theater. Wait, sounds like for the licensing fees.
Oh,
for playwrights.
Yeah, because it depends on the size of the theater and how long your run is. Yeah, so
yeah,
that
so
is technically views analogous to streaming views.
Yeah.
Or for us, streaming listens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which also does not pay well.
No. But, like, I mean, is it possible that this was just one of those things where, like, would you say most people who write plays, that's their only job? Or are they also teachers or, like, lecturers and professors and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of them are teachers and professors, too, yeah.
Do you think we're in, like, a weird time period where you could be a standalone TV writer, but now you're going to be a professor and a TV writer?
I think the issue we run into is that there are way more produced TV writers than there are produced playwrights.
So there's not enough like lecturing positions.
Exactly. It's kind of how like
and playwrights can
it's
live
kind of like
anywhere.
how after an athlete retires, only a few of them can become the TV commentators.
Yeah.
Right. The rest of them are, you know, maybe going to go coach high school football, even though you were a pro athlete. You know, stuff like that.
Okay, so this might be. Once again, I'm trying to look at this. Like, one of the reasons that people like the stuff that people make on YouTube.
Oh, Sarah asked, what's our 180 goal song?
Our 180 goal song for today is Good Riddance by Green Day. And at 360, the Beetlejuice will do Friends Forever by Vitamin C. We are currently, $85 away from that 180 goal song.
Away.
Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. So I guess, one of the things I noticed, though, is, like, one of the things people like about smaller YouTube people, not people who do it where they run their own production companies, but people more at like my scale,
sure,
is we're more relatable because we work or we have jobs outside of this. And then the longer that we do this full time, the more we drift away from relatability is actually like a hazard. Would writing being a side gig create better writing? Like, if the idea is that, like, you don't have to live in Hollywood anymore to be a writer because of Zoom and stuff these days.
Sure.
So, okay.
There's already some of that going on.
Yeah.
I think the base issue about this is that these studios have the money and
they're choosing not to pay it.
They're choosing not to pay it. They're hoarding it at their executive levels rather than paying the people who actually make the things, which is why they have money in the first place.
Yeah, because I've thought about
It's not like it's not like, oh, all these studios are poor, so we'll have to get day jobs, you know.
No, I get that. I'm just feeling this out. So thank you.
No, and I think
Triforce for the 20 who says let's continue to rotate, and that's gonna bring us up to 115. Thank you, Triforce.
Oh, looks like we got some more.
We got another one. Let me finish Triforce's 115 first. Okay, and then another 20 rolling in from Sarah Winchester. That is going to bring us up to 135. Woo! Because, like, on the relatability front, I will say that one thing I've really looked at is, like, over the summers when Corinne's gone, going and getting some sort of, like, part-time job or something, just because I feel like if I'm just sitting alone in my studio instead of interacting with people out in the world, I'm going to get less relatable. And
but does it feel like to you that TV shows have become less relatable?
I feel like, okay, so what I'm worried about is in some of the situations you're describing here, it might be harder for new people to break in. And I think one of the things that keeps TV shows relatable is that they have new people in the writer's room who just got off from working other jobs, right? And so I think the longer that somebody's in the industry, the more they're going to depend on other people to help them maintain that relevance. And anything that crystallizes the head count in the writer's room, like what you're describing with, like, okay, you're assigned to the studio and you work on a bunch of their projects. If they're not pulling in as many new random people for specific projects, that could be a hazard. But hey, thank you very much to Sandra for tipping 17. We're going to go ahead and rotate 17 degrees. So let's see, from 135, that's 152. Getting us
close.
Only 28 away. Thank you, Sandra. Getting us 28 away
Sandra.
From that goal there. Because, like, now, and the thing is, I wasn't going to just take any random job because...
Sure.
But, like, in particular, I was like, okay. So, for example, one of my favorite coffee shops was having a hard time hiring people after the pandemic. And I was like, I like this coffee shop being in my community. Maybe, I kind of look at it as me putting in my hours to make sure it stays here. you know, or there was a pinball manufacturer down in Texas that was having a hard time recruiting. And it's like, well, I've got some manufacturing experience, and I know some people who are in a relationship in that city who both have houses, and they're, for various reasons, unable to sell either one right now, and so they basically have an extra house next to this pinball factory. And I was kind of thinking like last summer, if Badger hadn't come in, because that was when that particular company was having the staffing issues, I was like, you know, maybe I go pick up a job there for the summer, just, you know, get my hands on some stuff, work side by side with people that I wouldn't work with otherwise, you know.
Sure.
Because like
But the main thing there is that's your choice.
that is my choice, but like,
I feel like writers should always have a choice to go do other things.
Well,
but if
okay.
they would like to work all year round then on writing, then that should also be a choice they can make.
well, I personally am a big fan of like universal basic income for that reason, but I don't know that
Same.
writers in particular are more entitled to universal basic income than everyone. I think everyone should have
No, I
universal
agree with that. of
basic
course.
income. I don't think people should have to work for someone else in order to live.
I just think in any field or anywhere, if there's enough money to go around, then it should be given to the people.
Yeah, no, I agree that the
rather
studio
than-
shouldn't be hoarding the money at the executive level.
Sure, which is what happens with all money in this country.
Sandra tipped another 8, who says there was supposed to be a comment with the last one, but thanks for inspiring me to go pinballing for the first time in 2 years. Hey, I hope you had a fantastic time, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
That gets us up to 160 even.
just
and
20 away.
Just 20 away.
20
but
away.
what a coincidence. We got another tip rolling in from Maximus420, who says, support the creators, not their enslavers. Well, and that's another thing is, I don't know, for example, if the studio system can be trusted to pay the writers. Like, we might need...
Well, that's why the guilds exist.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I guess what I'm saying is, too, I'm also looking at, like, how do you...
Government regulation.
How do you make television shows without depending on Warner Brothers? How do we... Like, maybe the writers need to basically seize the means of production here.
Sure, kind of like some way of...
Like
some massive scale of a Kickstarter project.
Yeah, like
have the fans support it solely. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's I guess what I'm saying is like I would like to assume that the strike will be successful and the studios will come around, but the more we're talking about this, the less incentive I see for the studios to come around. Mm-hmm. Like it seems like the studios can just do garbage nonsense forever, and we should try to route around the damage as creatively as possible. Demonstrate to them that they're not demonstrate to them walking away is possible. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm not sure what that looks like, but I'm trying to. That's why I was asking, like, how do playwrights do it? How do these people do it? How do I do it? You know,
right? Because like,
what can you threaten the studios?
Yeah,
with?
the studios can't completely walk away because there's not the technology there to be like, you know, we're just gonna do AI for everything for all of our shows. You know, it's just not gonna work.
But okay, so we're actually at 180 though.
So we should do the song.
So we should do the song. Good riddance. This one's for all you graduates.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind. Hang it on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories of dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. I hope you had the time of your life.
Woo! That was Quinn Hills performing Good Riddance. And we
Good riddance.
Good riddance. That one's for all you graduates. We also have Friends Forever if we hit our 360-degree goal. Sung by the Beetlejuice possibly coming up. Let's see. Let me make sure we got all of the tips. Yep, we are caught up on those. Quinn, do you need to get out of here? Because it is 11:45. Ish. Okay, should we maybe say another 15 minutes just to see if we hit that 360 goal?
Sure.
And then
cross my fingers.
Then if we do, we got 5 extra minutes to actually perform the song.
We certainly do.
Okay, so we'll be done by noon, so you can get back on your way. I appreciate you coming across town here to pal around and play some tunes.
Palling around across town, and I'm Quinn Hills.
Woo! I did not know this song was called Good Riddance.
What
So-
did you think it was called?
Okay, the thing is,
Time of
like,
your life?
a lot of people say, like, good riddance sarcastically, but I don't think it has to be, like,
Yeah, sometimes a riddance is just good.
yeah, it's like, you know,
That
that's
was a good riddance.
getting rid of your graduates at the end of the year is a good riddance.
Yeah,
like-
because you have more graduates coming in, and it would just be an absolute mess.
Yeah, if you'd have to build more dorms if you didn't get rid of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, riddance doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Yes. I think Marie Kondo most recently
Oh, yeah.
was advocating a lot of riddance.
Mm-hmm. Hey, looks like we got another tip rolling in. Let's see who it is from.
Who's it from?
Who's that
that
from?
tip from?
I turned off the sounds in game, so I really hope I'm not getting attacked here. We got another 5 rolling in from a different Sandra. Thank you.
Thank you,
New
different
Sandra.
Sandra.
New
New Sandra. You are different, but still a Sandra.
We're rotating us up to 185. We are now 175 away from that second goal. So thank you very much, Sandra. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna turn my in-game sounds back on. I try to turn those off when you're playing like the tip songs, since that's what people want to hear.
Yeah. I'm sure there'd be occasions where the atmospheric sounds, blend nicely. But
They can,
better
but
safe than sorry.
yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Sorry. But yeah. I mean, it seems like, though, with advertising kind of on the decline, like, there's not as strong as an incentive for, studios to make a bunch of TV shows anytime soon. Like, because it's like, so for example, Disney has a whole portfolio of stuff.
Sure.
People, like, cable networks are paying for Disney to be included, ABC to be included, ESPN to be included, right?
Right.
So even if, with this writer's strike, if Disney just says, you know what, that's fine, we'll live off our back catalog in ESPN for years and our theme
And they
parks.
could.
Like, they literally could.
Yep.
You know, like, all of these places now are such giant conglomerates. Like, General Electric, do they still own NBC? They could just be like, that's fine, we'll keep selling parts for oil rigs and microwave ovens.
Yeah, I don't think they still...
Well, NBC Universal, though. Like, that Universal has, like, a bunch of theme parks and...
Exactly.
Like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, it feels like...
Well, and they're going on... Well, in some places do have this, like, 100 years of content.
Yeah.
And I don't use the word content in a good way, but
Yeah.
that's how they picture it.
NBC's owned by Comcast. Yeah, exactly. So Comcast can just keep selling cable modems. And that sort of thing. And in theory... Because, like, what I've seen with a lot of commercial real estate is some buildings, when they were built... They had, like, lease terms built into the finance structure. So the bank that gave them the loan up front set, like, a minimum rate they can charge per square foot. So even though the pandemic hit and that stuff is now sitting completely empty, if they were to try to lease it for below that rate, they would be, like, committing, like, some sort of loan fraud or something. And they would have to pay huge penalties to the bank to revise that and other stuff. And so they're just like, we'll just let this sit empty for years so we don't have to fight with our banks.
Right.
And as somebody who wants to rent commercial real estate to, like, put in a theater or something, I'm like, what? That's insane. But, like, maybe So I guess what I'm saying is, as you pointed out, they've been funneling all this money into the executives and stuff at the top. But, like, that means they've got a huge war chest.
Oh, completely, yeah.
Like, and the only real incentive...
Huge war chest that, functions off of Hollywood accounting.
Yeah.
Which you and I have talked about before. I don't know if we touched on it on stream.
No, I don't know if we talked about it on stream.
But going back to Ed Solomon, who we mentioned earlier, he's a writer who wrote Men in Black and has talked extensively about how... the studio, I believe it's Sony Pictures who does the Men in Black, has repeatedly told him that the movie Men in Black has never been profitable. Yeah. And he won't, get paid what he should be getting paid until it's profitable. Yeah. And he's kind of like, well, you've made 3 sequels, so how is it? How is this not a successful, profitable thing? Why would you put all this? Why'd you make 3 sequels if it's not a successful and profitable franchise, right?
Well, he didn't invent the comics, though, did he?
He didn't invent the comics.
Oh, okay, because you could argue, in this specific case, if I was the studios, my argument would be, well, the franchise was always strong.
Oh,
you just botched it. Yeah. Like if he had come up with it from scratch, I feel like he'd have a stronger case here. I think ethically he still should be getting paid, but I don't know that he can win this fight with the studios in that way. You know what I mean?
Sure, but even if there were like an original quote unquote IP, intellectual property, like Fast and Furious, those movies aren't based on anything. Okay. So if someone were to, and I'm sure they've told the writer who created many of the characters of the first movie, if they told that writer that,
it's never turned a
profitable. Yeah. They probably have told this writer or writers,
Yeah, so you don't get to see your profit cut. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think
you might get your contracted amounts, blah blah blah, but like your residuals and like all of that is, you just kind of get screwed over. Yeah. Your points off of the box office gross, etc. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, it wasn't, the movie made $2 billion globally, but with our advertising budget and everything, we're in the hole.
So I mean, this to me though says like these guys should be starting their own streaming services. These guys,
I mean, we tried to do that.
Well, I know we couldn't get the money together, but I feel like if Ed Solomon, like, talked to the South Park guys, like, You know, like there's enough guys out there like
I've seen it done at a smaller scale. There's a service called Nebula that a lot of YouTube creators are kind of part of as a collective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of their approach, which is like it's a streaming service. Viewers pay a monthly subscription fee, and then they use that to like fund the stuff that they want to make. But yeah, I haven't seen it on like a much larger scale where we're hearing like the top, quote unquote, top Hollywood writers. I'm using a lot of quotations here.
Yeah, because like
it's a weird thing.
You got to think that there's got to be somebody who's looking at it and going, we can never trust Comcast as long as their primary business model is selling cable internet, right?
Sure.
As
our government doesn't choose to regulate these things.
Yeah.
And doesn't choose to defend workers.
Yeah, like at a certain point, you kind of the next logical step of organizing within the workplace is create your own workplace. And now you could say, okay, well, let's say they start that with the best intentions, and 30 years from now, their kids run it into the ground and are doing the same stuff as NBC is today. Well, you know what? We got 30 years of proving it could be done right, and then somebody can break off from them and start another one that does it right, you know?
Yeah.
I really... Like, we're talking about owning your stack, you know, in tech and things like that. Like, the more of your industry that the creative people control, the better.
Yeah, or like in music, owning your masters.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason, like, Taylor Swift is re-recording
Mm-hmm.
her own albums because she doesn't own the rights to the original albums.
Yeah.
But by re-recording them, those are hers now to use however she sees fit and to get a much larger cut off of. Which is, you know, how it should be, I feel.
Yeah. But, like,
you created the thing, you did most of the work, so you should benefit the most from it.
Here's another question. Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions, but you know more about Hollywood stuff than me, and this is really interesting to me as, like, a self-employed creative person who works in video. Mm-hmm. Is there an incentive for any one company to accede to the strikers' demands first? Like, if Disney says, you know what, we want all the best talent, so we're going to sign a new contract with the WGA and give the Writers Guild everything they ask for, can those writers that are on strike go back to working for ABC that day, or do they need to wait for Fox to sign a contract too? Because that seems... How does that work?
I don't know that they would budge, because there's... What the writers are up against is sort of another league of sorts. Maybe you've seen this, the AMPTP.
What is that?
That's the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
Okay. So, but...
And that represents, like, television and film production companies?
Yeah.
So, it's like...
I guess what I'm saying, though, is let's say that Disney defected from them. Disney said, we're going to leave the AMTP because we think the writers are correct.
Yeah.
And we're going to sign literally whatever contract they put in front of us because we want to be the first ones to get new television back on track.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like if they're going to negotiate with the industry as a monolith, that disincentivizes everybody. Like, Comcast is going to go, well, we got all our cable money coming in. We think we can outlast Disney on this. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It seems weird to me to not try to pit the studios against each other. And I understand, well, the studios don't want to be pitted against each other. That's why they formed this AMPT thing.
Yeah.
But, like, at a certain point, defecting from something like that would be really advantageous.
If you don't have the media library to coast off of.
Yeah. That's true, and Disney.
But like another thing people don't understand, just people out in the world don't understand necessarily, is that even like reality competition shows, those have writers' rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like American Idol, even you know, quiz shows, those have writers' rooms with Writers Guild members in them. So it's.
Oh, I thought of a better example.
Yeah.
You were just describing, what if you don't have a deep library, but you were like, who would defect in a situation like this, possibly
like
favoring the writers?
Amazon, maybe?
I was going to say Apple.
Yeah,
If Apple TV said, you know what? We're gonna structure our pricing model in such a way that the writers are paid fairly. Apple makes a ton of money selling iPods, and we're gonna sell more iPods because they got video now for people to watch the shows on if the shows are good. And so,
and Apple TV doesn't really like license
and they're
content that much. You know, their platform where you can kind of through Apple buy movies and stuff. But in terms of like the breadth of their library, they've only produced so many movies and shows. And
I guess the risk for Apple is every other film company saying, well, we're no longer going to buy Macs for our film production crews because Apple screwed us with this by agreeing to that writers should make money.
Yeah,
I guess
that's the thing.
That is
like,
an incentive because they're
even though this isn't a union per se, there could be that kind of like scab type of feeling assigned to you if you were to break from the rest of.
Well, but if what the rest of
if
what the rest of this association of motion picture and television producers is doing is, in my opinion, immoral, which is trying to withhold the fair amount of compensation from the writers.
Sure.
It seems like there's a justification for defecting.
No, I think so.
Now, you're right that people might still be mad at you for defecting because they're greedy and they want you to be greedy. Help us be. If we're all greedy, they can't stop us. Seems to be what it comes down to.
Well, and there are a lot of ways. Let's say Apple did do that, right?
Yeah.
And now, because like stars and writers are often working for multiple studios.
Yeah.
Let's say that you are producing your Apple and you're making a movie with Chris Pine.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to start shooting it next week. But you have angered let's say Universal Pictures, who's still a member of the AMPTP.
Yeah.
And they've decided, oh, well, we need Chris to do more press on this movie that he made for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not going to get to start shooting your film next week. And that's going to, like, make these costs go up on your film because every day you're not shooting, you're losing money. And, like, there are petty ways to inflict pain that would kind of make it not worth it to defect.
Well, for a company that's also like, I could understand Disney not wanting to screw with Universal in that way, but I feel like a company like Apple or somebody launching a new streaming service might be like, well, that's fine. We're going to showcase new talent then and not go after people with NBC contracts or Universal contracts. You know.
But they can't necessarily do that and have their show be profitable.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is like
it's a lot because a lot of times like shows like Apple TV isn't necessarily solely financing everything they make. You know, there can be independent investors who come to the table through different production companies or whatever who are like, oh, well, you have this star attached. So yes, I'll put my money in that, you know, and then maybe Apple TV distributes it, or put some percentage of money into it. So it's messy.
Yeah, I just want to see it resolved fairly. I want creative people to be able to be creative. I want to be able to be creative, but like, yeah, I have absolutely no financial security at this point, and I applaud anybody who has the ability to fight for it, because I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep showing up for work and hope it keeps paying. But that's it. That's the whole plan.
I know. Stellar Spider says, I have a friend who is a producer for one of those companies. I know she produced something on a streaming service. She's totally on the side of the writers because she's also out of work right now due to the strike.
I think this will be a personal issue in the end. So, I guess what I'm saying is, like, it feels like a situation that could basically stalemate indefinitely.
Sure.
A lot longer than it... Back when these TV companies were TV companies, yeah, there was some pressure to resolve this, but, like, now that they're just greed conglomerates, it's
they're
like...
greed conglomerates that still have all the money, no matter how long the strike goes on.
Yeah.
They still have the library of shows and movies, no matter how long the strike goes on.
What you're describing is they have the power to screw with anybody who tries to do better.
Yes.
Like...
And writers will, because they're not getting paid while they're striking,
Yeah,
they'll continue to get poorer. And other than like showrunners or top level writers who might have nice savings accounts, that's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Very soon.
So basically the question is, can you shame these companies into doing better? But I feel like if you could shame companies into doing better, they would already be doing better. Right,
like, when they're holding so much of the power, which is the point. But like they still have the upper hand in a lot of ways. It's tricky.
Well, that's why that's why what I'm saying is, like, it feels like you need to take a lot of the power away from them. Like I feel like Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog was an example of just proving, like, you know what? We can just film something ourselves and we can produce it and we can sell it on iTunes. Right? We can and yeah, maybe that wasn't a huge financial success or whatever, but it was a proof of concept that I think we might need to see more of. Like, everybody's optimistic that the studios are losing so much money, their stock value is going down, but, like, I don't have a lot of faith in those guys. I'd rather see NBC Universal get out of the business of creativity and let creative people own their own business.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Well, and I would suppose even if like the stocks are down, I don't know if these executives are like taking a pay cut. It hasn't become dire for them in the same way that it's dire.
Well, it's not like they have to sell the stock next week, right?
Yeah,
just hold on to it, wait for it to go back up.
Exactly.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But yeah, we definitely had something very special with the way writers were getting paid for syndicated stuff. But it feels kind of like, when YouTube ads paid money. No, I'm not joking. I made so much more money off of YouTube 10 years ago, off of advertising, when I had 4,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel.
Well, and when they needed people to create content for them,
they were willing to
help
us
to grow their platform.
Yeah, but now they've got their platform.
So they could incentivize it, and they've got anyone's a YouTube creator now, so we don't really care.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna pay you.
Yeah.
You have no way to fight back.
Well, yeah, most people don't.
Most people don't. There's no union of YouTubers.
No, and this is part of why I'm independently developing the tech stack to self-host stuff.
Sure.
And because in the long term, I don't trust YouTube any more than I trust Microsoft. It's
you got to self-host and self-jost.
Yeah. Like, I want to be able... Yeah, it's going to kill discoverability if I'm self-hosting. People won't randomly find my channel for the first time. But the people who like my show, who've supported me for all these years, I want there to still be a show for them to watch,
Sure. And there's, I don't know if people still use search engines like I do, but,
Well, I feel like word of mouth is going to be
word of mouth.
important.
Yeah, your SEO is never going to be good enough to compete with other.
Well, and
Minecraft,
especially
if someone's typing in Minecraft videos, you're not going to come up anywhere near the top.
Well, and I think AI is really going, like, the fact that people can just generate ludicrous quantities of text right now, like, is gonna really mess with all sorts of search engine optimization stuff anyway. And but like, no, but the way I'm gonna get people to find my show is I'm gonna go give panels at conventions.
Right.
I'm gonna talk to people in real life at PAX. I'm gonna, that's how I'm gonna grow my stuff. But like. And I understand maybe that's not for every writer, but like,
it's already word of mouth that comes through the community, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That has their friends and family. Oh, you should check out Joe's videos,
Yeah.
So that'll continue. That'll always be there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are actually a little bit past 12:05. Sorry, I get really interested in this stuff about show business.
Yeah, this is a morning stream. It's not morning.
Yeah. Oh no. It's
what are we even doing?
It's afternoon now.
We don't do afternoon.
We don't do an
streams.
afternoon stream together. What
never.
This is a complete mistake.
I'm about to walk.
I believe it. Okay. But yeah, Quinn, I really appreciate your expertise on all this because you lived out in LA and you have a degree in film and stuff.
I know a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and make sure that people know if they want to find Quinn on Twitter. That's twitter.com/
Redacted Hills.
Ooh, let me post that link.
Kind of surprised Twitter's still around.
Yeah, I just got my Blue Sky invite. I haven't actually posted anything there yet, but I started following people.
It's a Blue Sky.
I do like that you can use your URL. Any domain name you own can be your account name. So I've got joehills.net as my
Very nice.
Blue Sky account. And then if people want to find you on Tumblr, that's
tumblr.com/Quinn Hills.
Quinn Hills. Whoa.
Whoa.
Autocomplete is not
Autocomplete.
working. There it is.
It's a me.
Posting that.
Quinnio.
If folks want to commission custom songs, they can do that at redactedhills.com. Hey, welcome, Fuzz Raiders. We're just doing our outro.
Fuzz Raiders.
I'm posting all Quinn's links, our musical guest for today in studio.
Fuzz Raiders. Thank you for being Fuzz Raiders.
Woo-hoo! Fuzzy Raiders. Alrighty. Okay, so we got your website where people can commission music. We got your Twitter. We got your Tumblr. Is there anywhere else I need to remember to send people this week?
Twitch?
Oh, that's right. You said you're not streaming tonight or tomorrow, but
no.
When is your next stream if people wanted to find you or follow you?
Probably Sunday evening.
Quinn Hill. Is it Quinn Hills on Twitch or Redacted Hills?
Redacted Hills.
Okay, let me pull that as well.
There we go.
Do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do.
Make sure that's muted so it doesn't start auto-playing the sound from that. Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for hanging out and palling around with us this morning. Let's see who is out there on Twitch.
Who is out there?
Oh, the IFPA 18 World Championship is going on now. That's over there in Europe. So if you want to watch literally the best people in pinball playing, right now it looks like they've got an arcade camera set up. They're talking about who's there, but we're gonna go ahead. Whoops, I meant to say it /raid JDL Pinball. Whoops. Whoops. I'm just posting the URL like I know what I'm doing. /raid JDL Pinball. So it looks like maybe today is practice.
Okay.
Because it looks like the actual tournament is the 2nd through 4th. Yeah. So everybody's flown in and they're all warming up on the different machines. The commentators are talking about who's here, what they're playing.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Very nice.
So when you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills right here. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do-do-do-do.